I watched the movie so much growing up. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. I
this
appreciate
is cool,
it.
man.
It's awesome to share that with everybody.
With fans of all ages in attendance, it is setting up a fun night at the ballpark.
Remarkable is the best digital note-taking tool. It's replaced all of my other notebooks. I've been in the innovation space my entire career, and it's all about the value of your ideas and your ability to capture them in the moment. And one of the benefits of the Remarkable is I'm not seeing an email pop up, I'm not seeing a message coming in. It allows me to stay focused and generate better ideas and better innovations.
Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Scheduling is easy with Square appointments. Clients can book online 24/7. Take payments at your station or the front desk to offer seamless checkouts. Keep track of commissions and split tips with just a few clicks. Gain time and peace of mind with beauty tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today at square.com.
The Michael K. Show on
24. It's Michael and Don today until 6:30. Peter is in Germany for a WWE event. We thank you all for joining us, and we go and start off the show on a somber note. Don, when I heard about what happened to the Gaudreau brothers, it hurt my heart. Obviously, 2 young lives taken, 2 widows created, kids without dads, but they were in town to attend their sister's wedding tomorrow, and they got run over while riding a bike, and they both lost their lives. I don't even know how to articulate how I feel, Don. It's just so awful.
Imagine it. We're both fathers. We're both brothers. We're members of families, and we've had our tragedies in our life, Michael. But nothing. I can't even imagine what they're going through. In every stage, as you said, the parents, his parents, are preparing for their daughter's wedding. That was supposed to happen today, and it's probably ranking in one of the greatest days of their life. And their family is all coming to South Jersey to be reunited from different areas of the country and to celebrate this amazing day of their daughter getting married. And it goes from one of the greatest weekends of their life to the worst day of their life, instantaneously. To lose 2 sons like that at the same time, I can't even imagine going through that. I can't imagine what the parents are going through. I can't imagine what their sister's going through on a day that's supposed to be so joyous for her. I can't even imagine them getting married today or going through with any kind of a ceremony. And then I can't imagine Johnny's wife and 2 infant kids to have no dad, to become a widow like that. I just can't imagine. I've been gutted today, Michael. I did not know Johnny well, but I did meet him. I did talk to him. I was so prideful to have somebody from New Jersey excel in the National Hockey League the way that he did. So I rooted for him. I watched him. When I called a game in Calgary, I made sure I went over and talked to him in the morning skate. And he grew up in Salem County, which is a suburb of Philadelphia, so he was an Eagle fan, and his favorite player was Donovan McNabb, and we talk about that. And I would just, he's such a wonderful, wonderful kid and a wonderful player and such a gentleman. And to just have it all end like that is just, I can't imagine what that family's going through, Michael.
According to police, a driver of a Jeep Grand Cherokee hit the Gaudreaus from behind while trying to pass an SUV on the right that had moved over to make way for the 2 pedal cyclists. According to the report now, the driver is suspected of being under the influence of alcohol and has been charged with 2 counts of death by auto. The investigation is ongoing. It's unspeakable. It's unimaginable. We say this over and over and over again. I've seen the mugshot of the guy. He's not a young guy. Not that he's old.
43.
43 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're going to drink, just take an Uber. Why would you risk your life and other people? I don't want to preach. It's not for me to do. But goodness gracious, you just devastated a family. You devastated a family because you got allegedly got behind the wheel of a car after having too much to drink. And you know, we could say this till we're blue in the face, Don. I don't think it's ever going to stop, because I think once you get drunk, right? You probably don't think you're drunk because you're drunk, so you're not thinking right. And the only way I think that this could ever stop is if they installed in every car, if you're going to start the car, you have to breathe into it. That's it. Because, again, I don't think you're of the right mind when you're drunk to think, oh, I'm not right to drive, I'm going to take an Uber. You don't think you're drunk. So, just awful. Just an awful story. You get a feeling in the pit of your stomach when you go, and you start to think what that family's going through at this moment right now as we speak on a sports talk show. It's just sickening to think.
Yeah, and I guess the report was he admitted to having 5-6 beers. He doesn't look like that big of a guy. So you would think, Michael, if I had 5-6 beers, I don't know if I'd be able to walk to the car, never mind drive it. But there's a self-importance, there's an arrogance to people sometimes, and it's just unbelievable to have to go through that. So whether you knew the family, knew him, hockey fan, not a hockey fan, I think everybody can really feel for what happened earlier today. When I saw it, when I woke up this morning, I was just in a daze about it happening. So, I mean, there's nothing we can really do other than just try to keep things in perspective, right? It's moments like this, Michael. Unfortunately, it fades away over time. But as you get upset about your Yankees and Mets, or your Giants or Jets, or about traffic on Labor Day weekend, or the fact that it's supposed to rain later today, the little things that bother us and irk us and drive us crazy really puts those moments in perspective, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it does go away over time, but just as aggravated as you may be about different things today, just imagine what that family's feeling right now.
That's right. It'll never go away for that family. This is a day that will live with them forever, and it's heartbreaking, so our condolences to that family, but words don't mean anything after what happened yesterday, so we're really sorry. Yeah. And, we wanted to start the show because we always call the show the toy store, the candy store, where real life doesn't really pierce reality, but we also don't want to disrespect. And we just wanted to know what went on, and a member of our community who made it has his life snuffed out by a driver who had 6 beers and decided to drive.
Yeah, that was more important for him to be able to get from point A to point B than people's lives. And sometimes when these things happen, we kind of exaggerate the greatness of a player. He was great, Michael. He was an outstanding, won the Hobie Baker Award for Best College Player, had a 115-point season his last year in Calgary, 8 years in Calgary, 6 of them he was an all-star. And the one game I remember in Calgary, it was Rangers Flames, it went into overtime. And Dave nudged me, and then he said, he goes, "Do you hear the crowd?" Because I'm calling the game, so I'm not paying attention to what's happening like on the bench. That like it's 3-on-3, and he was so electric that whenever he'd leave the ice, the fans would kind of groan, and then when he'd flip that one leg over the boards to jump back into the play, the place would explode and get excited. He was so much fun to watch. He was diminutive in size. It was just a tremendous story that he was that kind of a player, and he wanted to sign with Columbus. He wanted to be a little bit closer to home, and spent 4 years there, and so he was. So it's such pride to be from Jersey. New Jersey's had some really nice hockey players, but nobody like this. And it was just a tremendous amount of pride to be from New Jersey, to watch him play, watch him grow into becoming a superstar player. And just so tragic that we're not going to get a chance to see that anymore.
Did he ever have a chance, Don? Did it ever come close that he could play for the Rangers or anything like that?
Well, there was talk about the Devils, because when he was a free agent, there was some speculation the Devils had some room and were talking to him. So I guess that's the closest he came, I think, playing for a local team. But Columbus came up with the 7-year contract that he signed. But that was as close, I think, him returning to the area. His 2 kids were born in Columbus. And just gut-wrenching story. Sean Monahan, who played with him in Calgary, it was just 3 days ago they replayed the interview. I almost couldn't watch it. That he signed there because he was such good friends with Gaudreau and wanted to play with him and never got a chance to do that. Kevin Hayes, they went to school together, great friends at each other's weddings. Kevin lost his brother recently and now loses Johnny. You listen, all sports are a tight community, but hockey especially for American-born players, guys that went to college together. So, Michael, this affected just so many people beyond just his family, and just it's really difficult for anybody that knew him or anybody that followed him. It's just, God, it's just sick to my stomach this morning.
On a more mundane front, this is our final show ever on 98.7 FM. It's obviously simulcast on 880, and starting on Monday with our show, it will be on 880, 101.1 HD2 on the FM side, and obviously on the ESPN app or on yes, that's starting on Tuesday. Monday, we're off on Labor Day. And I just wanted to say, Don, 12 years on this frequency, it's been a blast. It's been a great frequency for us. We conquered a lot of things that many people said couldn't be conquered. We finished first overall, not just on sports shows, but we finished first. And we were riding high on 98.7, and then the pandemic hit. And that had unbelievable consequences for us. Forget about, the terrible things that it did to the world.
Sure.
But 98.7 has been very, very good to us. And we want to thank the people of 98.7, the people that we leased this from. It meant a lot. It changed the course of this station's history. And there's a little bit of sadness in saying goodbye to it. But knowing that we are now on a flamethrower on the AM side of 880, I was listening to Barton Hahn, and people were calling in, and, they're getting the station easily in Boston. We're driving down the eastern seaboard of the United States, they're hearing 880. So it's a great, great signal, and we're so thrilled that our bosses decided to lease this out. But it's somewhat melancholy leaving 98.7 because we did some really cool things on 98.7.
No, major turning point in this radio station's history. But to be a little bit lighthearted, if you don't mind, who is the biggest name that pops into your head when you think about 98.7?
Biggest name.
I don't want to be political. That'll give you a bit of a hint.
You don't want to be political.
Yes.
I don't know.
Mike Huckabee pops into my head.
Why?
Because when we converted to 98.7, a lot of work was dumped on Mike Brownshire. And we had a party.
He's our imaging guy.
He's our imaging guy, Mike Brownshire, who Michael described as a melted candle. So you can have a mental image of
Mike
Brownshire. Right. And the night before was our dinner with Mark Sanchez, where we had listeners and clients, and Mike had, he indulged. So all of a sudden, and on that night, we made the announcement we moved to 98.7. So he was a tad bit dehydrated the next day, and he had to do all of the re-imaging from 1050 to 98.7, and he ended up having an episode where he passed out. Michael was in the room when Mike passed out, and you ran
and it was
to try
such
to get
a weird,
help.
It was a weird pass out. It wasn't like
Right.
a pass out that I've ever seen before. It's like it kind of went down to the ground in stages.
Like his battery was dying.
Yeah.
And you were concerned, so you ran out, and the person, I guess, that you ran into or knew what to do was Mike Huckabee, because he was doing something at ABC, and
right.
Mike Huckabee was able to stabilize, went to the hospital. It turned out he was fine. He was just dehydrated. He was doing so much work and everything, but that's the story. Every time I think of that conversion to 98.7, I think about that wacky incident. But I remember Justin Craig saying to us, everything that you did before us going to 98.7, forget about it. This is a game changer. And I was kind of insulted. I'm like, we worked our tails off on 1050 to kind of build an audience and everything. But he was absolutely right, Michael. It was such a turning point for us. It was such a better signal. It really put us out there, put us in a position to finally win, which we definitely took advantage of. So it's tough to see it go, but I'm hoping for bigger and better things now with this shift. I was listening to Rick and Dave, and a guy a truck driver saying he was able to get the station in Delaware.
Yeah.
the other day. So no, this is big for us too. But I'm glad you brought it up because it's not just all right, we're moving on, let's forget about it. There was an amazing 12 years on that frequency.
I mean, just to put it this way, when Don and I got together and started the afternoon drive show with Joey, the big guy on the top of the hill was a radio icon. It was Mike Francesa. At which point he called us a pea shooter. We would never even come close to him. And then to finally beat him, I mean, there was a lot of times that we were really, really close. And, at that point, we even got close. But then when we finally beat him, that was amazing. We beat everybody they put in front of us, including Evan and Craig. And then the pandemic hit, and radio changed, and listeners changed, and the way people drove in their cars changed, and it did affect us. It really did. But, just to be able to beat an iconic figure who, when the history of radio is written for sports talk, Don, they're going to talk about Mike Francesa, and we were able to knock him down. So that was on this frequency. And you know what I'm going to do right now if you're watching on Yes?
What is that?
I'm going to take down the 98.7 magnet because this doesn't work anymore, right? After today. We're going to have to get new magnets and whatever, new backgrounds.
Yeah, I would symbolically bring my background down right now, but I need to kind of check during the break to make sure there's nothing behind it.
Yeah, it could be somebody nude.
So, nobody nude. But,
how do you know? You don't know.
I think I would know if there was somebody nude back there. But yeah, so it's a cool day. It's an interesting transition, but it was 12. That's the other thing too, Michael. 12 years ago, really.
Wow.
Jeez.
Unbelievable times. So there we go. Start off the show that way. It's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Mets start a series with the White Sox in Chicago, with coverage starting at 7:30 right here on 880. The Yankees are home facing the Cardinals at 7:05. That'll be on Yes. And the Liberty face the Storm at 10. That's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Now, we don't do much college football on the show. But interesting stuff yesterday. Rutgers is playing Howard, and they kind of put the pedal to the metal and scored when the game was over, essentially over. And that ended up covering the number. I mean, that's why you can't just ignore the fact that betting is legal now. These things jump out at you, Don, when a team scores when they don't have to. So Greg Schiano, the head coach of Rutgers, addressed scoring and kind of like rubbing it in against Howard. Hello? Is that going to happen, guys?
You have to ask Larry that. I have a lot of respect for Coach Scott. I think he does a great job with his program. Obviously, they're back-to-back champions. He's a competitor, I'm a competitor, and everybody sees things a little differently, right? You see it through your lens. So you watched the game, you saw it, so you can draw your conclusions. I'm very comfortable with the way that we handle our team, that I handle our team, and if I wasn't, I'd tell you that too. All right, so then why did you run up the score on the final play? Guys practiced all training camp. They deserve to play. It's not, there was no running it up. If it was running it up, you don't use timeouts when you have the ball. You let the game end. That wasn't retaliatory. We were going to run plays. We bring in a team to play us. We bring them here, and we bring them in, right? And we got to win, and we got to get reps. And they were there. We took them. I'll tell you what, Don, there's no honor anymore. There's no honor. You see it in every level of athletic endeavor. People rub it in. When you see, They have these homecoming games that are scheduled where a team takes a lot of money to get steamrolled by the Ohio States of the world and the Michigans of the world. And there's no honor anymore. There's just not. So, I mean, can I sit here and really get mad at Greg Schiano? These are the new rules of the game. And I'm sorry, I don't like them. I think there should be sportsmanship involved. I mean, you won the game, but it is somewhat curious that you, quote unquote, ran your plays, and by running your play, you ended up covering a big number.
I'm kind of torn because you know how I feel from the professional standpoint. Entertain me, clown. So I go out there and run up the score. You're professionals. You're getting paid. Hey, that's you don't like it, stop them. But I do think in college and high school, maybe it's a little bit different, especially under these circumstances. You know, Rutgers, Howard, they were a 30-plus point favorite in the game. I don't know if you need to have to humiliate them. But then at the same time, they're all judged, right? Is there a difference between 37-7 and 44-7 when later in the season it's determining what bowl you're going to go to? Or, you know, probably not for Rutgers, but like playoff eligibility? I know it's different than it was when it was just a pure rankings where scores mattered, but could it help Rutgers down the road that they won by 7 more points than they would have if they had taken a knee? I don't know. I mean, this is the same guy, if you remember, when he was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, were diving for the ball when the Giants were taking a knee in their victory formation. He said, hey, we played to the final whistle. So I don't think it has anything to do with him covering the number. I think that was just coincidence from a Schiano standpoint.
Yeah, but you can't just ignore that, Don. They were minus 38. All of a sudden, they covered.
No, I get it, but I think this is just how Schiano is. I really don't think it had anything to do with the number. I think it was just pure coincidence. But if you want to argue that side of it, I guess you might have a say just because of how the game turned out. I just think he plays to the final whistle. I just don't know in those circumstances, does it make a lot of sense to humiliate your opponent that way? But that's who he is, and I think on college it's a little bit different than pro.
One thing I'll push back on you though, it's not college anymore. It's professional sports. They all get paid. I'm sorry, it's not college anymore. So it's not these kids carrying their books under their arms through the quad. These are professional athletes that are getting paid a tremendous amount of money. Well, now, less in Rutgers than maybe in Ohio State, but they are getting paid.
And a lot less at Howard, too. So it is kind of weird, right? Like, you know, where money's exchanging hands for these matchups. I mean, listen, Rutgers has Howard on the schedule to pulverize them. I mean, that's the point of it, right?
Yep.
And Howard agrees to it because it gives them a little bit of national exposure, getting to play. You know, so it's all a business transaction at the end of the day. So you're right. I mean, I think there is a difference between college and pros still, but you make a very good point. It's a business transaction. Howard knew their role. Their role was to get pulverized and get paid to have it happen. And Rutgers wants to run up the score because that might help them at some point. You know, the difference between playing in the Poinsettia Bowl and some other bowl. I don't know, but I guess. I think if you're Howard, you kind of have to just get over it, right? I mean, I think you got to put feelings aside. It's big boy stuff now, and you're right. They are getting paid.
It's amazing. I was talking to a guy who has the inside scoop on the Big Ten, right? Tells you how much money is being exchanged now. So we know that players getting $1 million to come play for big-time schools. Don, they're now handing out money for people to visit. Like a kid wanted to go, I'm not going to name the school, wanted to visit a big-time Big Ten school. You could guess who it is. And demanded $10,000 just to visit. And got it. So let's not look at it it's not an educational vehicle anymore. It's professional sports, and it's a minor league system for the NFL. And it's only the NFL could get away with not putting a dime into their minor league system.
They went from student athletes, Michael, to athletes that happen to be students.
Right. And they're probably not even students, a lot of them.
And I think to me that's a big distinction. It's not the way it was before. And do I think that they deserve to have some sort of compensation? But this still doesn't feel right to me, Michael. It doesn't. I don't think these kids should be taken advantage of when their images are used in video games and on posters and autograph sessions and stuff. Like, I do think that they were taking advantage back in the day. But is this the answer? Is this really what college sports are supposed to be? A minor league system? Or, you know, I don't know if the old system wasn't right, but this doesn't feel right either.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's just the pendulum swung too far the other way. And there has to be some kind of system in place where it's not the wild, wild west. And, you know, we're talking about Rutgers scoring that extra touchdown, but you can't feel sorry anymore because just think about it. You said they used to be student athletes. Now they're athletes, maybe student. Think about it. they don't have to go to class anymore because they keep transferring every single year. So you don't even have to go to class the first semester. You're playing, and then, okay, when you flunk out, you go to another school, get another $1 million. That's what we're dealing with. But college football has never been more popular. And I don't. This was such a long time ago, and I remember. But I remember somebody really getting on me on Twitter when I said that Alabama could find itself in a little bit of trouble compared to some schools like Stanford and Oregon just because of their alumni. And the guy was like, "Oh, you're crazy. This is Alabama. I get it's Alabama. It's a great program, but do their alumni have the money that Oregon alumni have, that Stanford alumni have, that there's a reason Nick Saban's doing TV, Don? Right, yeah, because listen, we know how big Alabama is, and I'm not saying that their endowment is not what other schools' endowment is. And when you look at what these guys used to do illegally as alumni to be able to get kids to come to their school, now they can do it, and it's legal. So you don't think that some of these schools, Michael, it becomes big market, small market. And I'm sorry, Alabama's a small market compared to some of these schools that maybe aren't known to be winners and have the winning pedigree that an Alabama has. But when it comes to big-time money and endowments, Michael, the game has changed. There's a handful of schools now that put themselves in a much better position than other schools, despite the history telling you otherwise. Now, just to clarify one thing, the TD that Rutgers scored yesterday hit the over. They didn't cover the number. If they were allowed to kick the point after attempt, they would have covered the number as well. So they ended up pushing. Well, but you know what? I get that, but people get different numbers. I mean, maybe ESPN Bet had it at 38. You know, people might have. I bet you that touchdown affected the spread as well, depending on where you bet it, when you bet it. But I understand what you're saying. I don't think Shiano even knew what the spread was. I really don't think that. No, I don't think so either. I just think he's putting his foot on their throat. But because gambling is so prevalent now, you've got to be aware of that stuff. Well, what I would tell anybody that gambles on Rutgers football, then you better gamble that Shiano's going to play until the clock zeroes out. So maybe that means that you should bet the over. Maybe it bets that they're going to cover the number. You know, it's a lot of times when you see these big spreads, you're like, because what is it, Ohio State, Akron's like 49.5 or something crazy like that. Like, I would think, all right, they're probably going to call off the dogs in the fourth quarter. Shiano doesn't do that, so bet accordingly. All right, we got a lot of stuff to do. We'll take some phone calls, talk about the Mets, a good day for them, a win, and then a shocking Braves loss to the Phillies. Yankees start a 3-game series against the Cardinals where they'll try to bounce back after losing 2 out of 3 in D.C. Not sleeping? Or it could be a mattress.
Introducing Maurice's new fall denim collection. 7 brands and sizes 0 to 24 in hundreds of styles, lengths, and washes. Visit the #1 feel-good jean shop in 900 Maurice's stores and maurices.com.
Come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Introducing Domino's new New York-style pizza, the biggest star of your next pizza night. It's made with our fresh, never-frozen dough that's stretched thin, then topped with melty provolone cheese and cut into 6 big, foldable slices. For the perfect balance of crust, sauce, cheese, and toppings in every tasty bite. So why keep your taste buds waiting? For a limited time, you can get large New York-style pizzas with 3 toppings for only $10.99 or 2 medium 2-topping New York-style pizzas for only $6.99 each at Domino's.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. This look at the series probables between the Yankees and Cardinals is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Tonight, Marcus Stroman will look to pick up a winning decision in his 2nd start in a row, something he hasn't done since late May. Tomorrow afternoon, Will Warren will try for his first major league win. He's had a rough go of it since his debut. Across 4 starts, he has given up 20 runs, 19 earned in less than 18 innings pitched. And then in the finale on Sunday, the Yankees starter is still yet to be determined. Our coverage tonight begins with Yankees batting practice today, followed by the pregame, and first pitch is scheduled for a little after 7. It's the Yankees and the Cardinals tonight. Coverage starting at 6 with BPTV right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Yankees and the Cardinals tonight. Let me give you the Yankees starting lineup on 880 ESPN. It's brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Gleyber Torres leads off. He plays second base. Juan Soto in right field bats second. Hitting third, playing center field, Aaron Judge. Austin Wells will catch. He'll bat cleanup. Batting fifth, the DH, Giancarlo Stanton. Jazz Chisholm Jr. at third base will bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Ben Rice is at first base, batting eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field, Alex Verdugo. The starter for the Yankees will be Marcus Stroman. The Yankees will be facing Eric Fetty of the Cardinals. The fact that Rice is playing first base would lead you to believe that the Yankees are not activating Rizzo, which is kind of odd because Rizzo was with Judge yesterday at the U.S. Open, and you figure, okay, he's back from Somerset. He's going to the U.S. Open. He's probably going to, maybe he's activated tomorrow. I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't look like he's activated tonight.
It was. I don't know the ins and outs of how many games somebody needs. Stan didn't need any games for rehab, but Somerset played last night, so I just assumed he didn't play for Somerset. Yankees were off. He's with the Yankees. He'd be eligible to play today. Otherwise, why wouldn't he have played for Somerset? Or I don't know.
Well, that's a nice Yankee starting lineup brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael Kay Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. Also, speaking of the U.S. Open, an unbelievable upset. Carlos Alcaraz, everybody thought he was going to win the Open. He gets upset in the second round. Kind of throws the Open wide open, so to speak.
In straight sets.
Amazing.
And Dave and Rick were talking about it this morning. That I think I have this right. Anthony, correct me. It was like he was like 20,000, like minus 20,000 to win. Like you would have had to bet $20,000 to win 100. So I listen. I guess it happened. Maybe it's an injury that was undisclosed that we didn't find out about. But this is one of the best players in the world, and to go out that quickly, that easily, is shocking.
Well, we have the final call. Let's listen.
And that's it. One of the biggest upsets we've ever seen at this U.S. Open. Botic van der Zandschulp takes out Carlos Alcaraz in 3 straight sets.
I think he's happy about it. Wow. You talk about a shocker. That's going to be at the top of the list of the all-time upsets.
I mean, when you're talking all-time upsets, as long as tennis been around, that tells you how shocking that. I mean, Alcaraz, Lupica was raving about him, right?
Yeah, everybody's been. And you know it's a big upset, Michael, when you can tell the story of the upset without even mentioning who beat him.
Yeah.
And I heard the name, and I'm still not sure who it was. But like all morning, I heard it talked about, and I never registered who beat him. Because that's not the story. It should be. He beat him, but the story is not so much he won. It's that Alcaraz lost.
Let's go to Manny in Flushing. Manny, first today.
Hi, Manny.
What's going on?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Great. How are you?
Good, man. Listen, man, I can't believe today's the last day of y'all in the 98.7 family. I just want to give my personal thing, my perspective, because I was in college back in 2012, 2013, when I began to listen to y'all, not just UK, but also Stephen A. Smith, Mike Lupica. At that time, he was still hosting, as well as Larry Hardesty and Gordon Gimmer. Shout out to them, by the way. But listen, I just wish y'all nothing but the best at 880, and because I will still listen to y'all, I still watch you on Yes, but I had 2 personal favorites during your time in 98.7. The one at with the 4 Horsemen, remember?
Yeah.
Back in 20. Yes, and also I think it was on TV and radio at the time. I think it was when you went emotional when you discussed about Yogi Berra, when he meant to you, not as a player, but as a person. But that was the 2 things that I can remember. And the last part was, I think it was Mike Green, when he got emotional in the aftermath of what happened with George Floyd and other chaos, what happened back in 2020. But listen, I wish y'all nothing but the best for 880, and I will still listen to y'all. I'll still go watch on Yes. And also, I hope that 880 will give you, it's going to be fun, because I think it's great for ESPN. Y'all can continue to expand, and hopefully that the Knicks, the Rangers, and the Mets now hopefully will grab more success.
Well, buddy, thank you, man. You're obviously a real big-time listener. We appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. Let's go to Frank and Clark. Frank.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Good. How are you?
What's up? All right, good. Just hear me out here. About Goudreau, the accident and the loss that the hockey lost. I'm a following hockey for 60 years. There's a big loss in hockey with these 2 brothers getting killed the other day. Now, I want to just say one thing. The gentleman who who hit them with the car had 6 or 7 beers, as you said. Isn't there a law that they go back to the bar where this person was drunk and summons the bar or the bartender? You can't tell me a bartender doesn't know when he overserved a patron. You know as well as I do, people get drunk. Bartenders just keep on feeding them drinks. What do you think?
Well, I mean, that's a little unfair to the bartender who's like, he's serving hundreds of people, and you can't tell from across a bar. I mean, you could tell if somebody is pig-eyed drunk, but 6 beers, I'm not sure if you could tell that. I mean, even if they're slightly inebriated, it should cause them to not get in the car. I don't know if you put that on the bartender. I'm just not
But
sure.
I think they could be subject to at least an investigation if somebody is overserved. But is 5, 6 beers overserved? For some people, it's not overserved. Do we know it was even at a bar? What did this happen at 8:30 at night? He might have been home. He might have been at a buddy's house. He could have been anywhere drinking. It may not even necessarily been a bar. But I do think there is a certain responsibility to keep an eye on patrons and not overserve and not give somebody who clearly is intoxicated any more alcohol. But I don't know. What do you do? Lock the door, Michael, when they go to leave? Like I don't know. You can't have them put their keys in a bin, and there's only so much I think a bartender can do. He can try to judge, but I don't know if they're 100% responsible when somebody gets drunk and kills somebody after they leave their bar.
Listen, I don't know if there's a real good answer to this, but shouldn't it fall on the person who did it to know I'm not right and I'm going to call an Uber? I mean, it's within a town, right? So how much can an Uber cost? And
exactly,
to put that cost of the Uber against the cost of countless lives ruined because you decide to get behind the wheel of a car.
And you know what's interesting, too, and again, I don't know all the circumstances. Did he illegally pass the driver that was in front of him? But you would think that if you did have some beers and you're stupid enough to get behind the wheel of a car, that you would be ultra careful and not try to pass cars on the road. Like, it just seems like there's a level of arrogance, like, not me, it'll never happen to me, I'm fine. And then you find out that you're not fine, and unfortunately you can't go back and correct the error. And it's so easy. Just an Uber app, a Lyft app. It just, Michael, it just seems so easy. We talk about these ball players, like how do they do it? They've got access to all these vehicles. Everybody does. What's an Uber ride, Michael, really, as opposed to what he's now facing? Like, nobody cares about him in particular. But I was thinking about this. Like, nobody cares about his life. He destroyed 2 people's lives, so, let him rot in jail. But he could be married. He could have kids. He could have a family that now will have to live with this for the rest of their lives, too. Like, he has destroyed his life, his family's life, and the Gaudreau family's life, all because he was too lazy to call an Uber.
And he also didn't distinguish himself in court because they can hold you for 72 hours, and the judge told him, and there's video of it, it's on the New York Post website, the judge told him he's going to be in jail till Thursday. He said, well, I'm going to be in here all weekend? And the judge says, yeah, because Monday's Labor Day, and I'm sorry, you're going to be here till Thursday. And he's silent. Oh, really, dude? Why don't you sit in jail and think about what you did? Again, I'm not saying that he was legally drunk. I'm saying what the police said. He was allegedly drunk. Well, whatever the case may be, you're worried about getting out for Labor Day weekend? When there are countless lives that were just ruined? Get a grip.
Really?
Griffin in Connecticut. Griffin.
Hey, Griff.
Griffin.
Hi, Griff.
Oh. Hey, I'm here. Just this thing just makes me sick. Waking up to this news this morning, it really is just sick. But then the thing that makes me more sick, I heard on Get Up with Greeny today, they were there for their sister's wedding.
Yeah.
So it's like the sister can't even have her wedding without this thing that shouldn't even happen if you know better. It's just completely. It just makes everybody sick to their stomach hearing it. And my thoughts just go out to his family and the Blue Jackets organization for this loss. And Michael, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Who are you doing the game with? Are you doing the game tonight with Paul O'Neill?
Yes, with Paul.
Or no? Okay. I love Paul. I love when you and Paul do it because you and Paul have such a good connection. You both get at each other. Meredith comes in. It's almost like children when you three are doing it together.
Well,
you mean that in a good way?
Yes, I thank you for that.
I mean, it's a good way.
No, I know. It's what I feel like when I'm doing the game with Paul is that I'm doing with my little brother. And, Don knows he has a brother. We kind of like rag on each other and joke around and, throw barbs at each other. And then we're doing a game at the same time. So I definitely have that feel. I'm glad that it comes around. It comes across as well. I have a lot of fun doing the games with him.
I don't want to put you in a very awkward spot.
But you're going to. I know it.
But I'm just curious, because, again, I like all the guys that you work with, and you could probably expand it to a three-man booth, but would Paul ever consider doing it full-time? He's so good at it. The fans love him.
Well, I mean,
Would
he does
ever
about
consider?
70 games, so I don't know if he would do more than that, because it's like, at his, he's got grandchildren now. I don't know if he wants to travel that much. He did do the whole West Coast trip at the beginning of the year, but, to do more games, you have to do road games, so I'm not sure he would do that. And then David has the ESPN obligation, so he can't do as many. It's difficult. I mean, in a perfect world, would you like to have the same three people on the air every single game? Yeah, but, people want days off.
Okay. No, I get that. That's the answer. I just think that it would be great because he is beloved.
Oh, yeah. He's amazing on the air.
And I've always said, I think that, I do think that your Yes booth gets disrespected because it's so easy to pick on the Yankees and all that because of the evil empire aspect. But I do think it would probably help because he's so loved and on all the time. I think that kind of consistency would boost everybody up.
Yeah, I think
you're great.
He does almost every home game. But I hear what you're saying. You like something, you want it more. It's like chocolate. You want more. You just want more. I don't know, you want more show. We'll come back with more show right after these messages. We pay some bills on Yes and on 880 ESPN.
Here comes the... With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Slow and steady wins the race. You hear it so often you forget just how amazing slow can be. At Acorns, we help your money harness the power of slow. Invest what you can. Give it a chance to grow with time. We believe that slower is better for your money and other stuff too. Barbecue, instant replay, slow dancing. Ooh, so slow. Acorns, grow your oak.
Managing my credit card debt was overwhelming, and it just wasn't a good place to be. My name is Carter, and Upstart helped me get rid of that credit card debt with a personal loan. Checking my rate with Upstart was super quick, super easy. It took me a few minutes to get my pre-approval and to get my interest rate. I got my money the next day. Having the opportunity to just have one due date a month and only paying one person made my life a lot easier.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
No dinner time is too big. No pup is too small. Home Chef's family menu and Paw Patrol are on a mission to deliver 4-serving family-friendly options that everyone will love. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com/Paw Patrol.
This will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word. Soda! And that's because this soda, Poppy, has none of the bad stuff. Instead, it has all of the flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy.
Mom? Yeah? I think we're out of toilet paper.
Oh, no.
Mom, we need more chips, Mom.
More chips, please.
More chips to be cute.
Chicken, a lot of chicken. Chicken on that plate. Chicken coming up. Okay, hon, I'm going to need a lot of chicken.
What's with the accent?
Just trying something new.
When you feel like everyone needs a little bit of everything,
I'll handle it.
Shop BJ's Wholesale Club on Instacart. Same-day delivery in as fast as 1 hour. So whatever the needs may be, you got it covered. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order.
1-833-2 gutters. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Amazing!
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho! Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Michael and Don with you until 6:30, calling all football fans. Enter the ESPN New York Survivor Pool for a chance to win $2,000. Make your pick each week of the football season and find out how you stack up against your favorite ESPN New York personalities. But be careful, one wrong pick and you'll be eliminated. The last one standing will take home the title of the inaugural ESPN New York Survivor Pool champion and $2,000. Enter now on the ESPN New York app. I don't know if you have taken a look, Don. You figure in a Survivor Pool, you're not picking against the spread. Right. You're picking a winner. And it's not easy. We got Baltimore at KC. You can't assuredly pick a winner there. Green Bay, Philadelphia, also not easy. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, maybe you think that one. Arizona, Buffalo. That one stands out to me. New England, Cincinnati. That's another one I'm giving a look. Then you got Houston at Indianapolis. Jacksonville at Miami. Not easy. Carolina at New Orleans. You think maybe New Orleans. Minnesota Giants. You got Vegas against the Chargers. Denver and Seattle. Dallas and Cleveland. Washington and Tampa Bay. And the Rams and Detroit. And then the Jets, San Francisco. There's no layups there, Don. That's why Survivor Pools are really difficult.
I have made my selection already.
You've done it. It's locked in.
I'm done. I've locked it in. I don't want to forget. And I feel good about it. So I've already made my selection.
And it was one of the ones I just talked about.
Well, you just gave the whole schedule,
Right.
so I hope so. I think you would agree with mine.
Okay.
Should I say? Does it matter?
I guess it doesn't matter because if you're part of our Survivor Pool, you could see what Don picked, right?
Yeah,
Anthony?
I picked Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way, but I don't want to do the same one as you. Now we'll see.
Now, people overthink it sometimes. Like, I want to go with a close one so I can save the big boys for later in the season. But you know what? Survive in advance. Just get to next week and then worry about it then. So don't overthink it. Nobody wants to get bounced right away, right? Nobody wants to get bounced the very first week. So at least survive to next week. Don't get cute.
Who wants to get cute? So you have who again?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I might go Cincinnati.
Okay.
Now remember, in a Survivor Pool, everybody, the one you pick, you can't pick them again. Now you can pick the team that against to lose if you want. If you want to go against New England all year, you can't do it twice though. And against the Jets, the Bills, and Miami. You only picked those teams once. But if you think New England's going to be awful, you know what, Anthony? Can you lock me into Cincinnati? I'm going to lock into Cincinnati.
Now it's official.
So
why do you got him do it? You can't do it yourself. He walked me through it, but don't give him extra work.
Really, is he working that hard?
It's already done, Michael.
Thank you, Ant. Thank you.
He works harder than we do.
You think so?
Yes.
Interesting.
What time do you get to the station?
Well, I got to the ballpark today at 1:30.
Okay. Anthony gets in like at 11.
Oh, okay. Good for him.
I'm just saying, because he's got stuff to do.
No,
and he doesn't get the lead.
That's a ridiculous statement by you. I'm doing prep work the minute I get up.
Oh, well, so is he. What time did he send the emails with our reads and possible subject matter? I'm usually getting it that text message like at 8, always before 8:30 in the morning. So he's thinking about the show while you're in the arms of Morpheus. And we get to dart right out. The second we say goodbye, bang. And he's hanging around after the fact, loading up the podcast. He works like a dog compared to us.
Oh, that's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Let's go to Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Sure, why not?
Michael, Don, Peter, what a night last night on ESPN TV. What a night. First of all, Alcaraz. What made that match so interesting, the kid, the other guy, was never in doubt. You knew from the very first point Alcaraz just didn't have it. Now, this was the worst thing that can happen for the U.S. Open. You know, fellas, just as an aside personally, the New York teams in any sporting events supersede everything I root for. But any other sporting event that I watch, I root for the underdog, except the U.S. Open. Because for New York City, you want the best players in the Final Four. You want Zverev. You want Alcaraz. You want Djokovic. You want Sinner. And that would have created the most amount of attention, the most money in the tournament, as ticket prices. So I was rooting. If this happened in Wimbledon or in Australia, it wouldn't matter to me. But this was in New York. It's a terrible loss for the U.S. Open, but, you know, big upset.
I think they'll survive.
The other game I watched was the Colorado game, the Colorado-North Dakota State. That was fantastic. Deion Sanders is must-see. The kid, the wide receiver that plays both ways, he played over 100 snaps yesterday, Travis Hunter. 7 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and Deion says he's as good a cornerback as he is a wide receiver. He says he's the best in the nation in both positions. That's going to be a show you're going to have to do when he gets drafted. Is he going to play offense or defense? Because there's no way he can go both ways like Ohtani in pro football. And the last thing, the last kid was the quarterback, Deion's son, Shador. What a game this kid had. And the team that they played, even though they were a Division II team, they're one of the powers at Division II, South Dakota State, or North Dakota State. So it wasn't a gimme game, but it was exciting. And Deion is so much fun to watch. He was one of the greatest football players as far as excitement to watch. Michael, one last thing I'm going to leave you with. Last thing, Yankee point. The Yankees' problem is not Boone. It's not DJ LeMahieu. It's not Clay Holmes. Here's their problem. In the history of baseball, Michael, and you can look it up, the history of baseball, there's never been a World Series winner without a starting pitcher in the top 15 in their league in ERA. Never. So how can the Yankees win a World Series without a top pitcher starting pitcher in the top 15 in ERA? You figure it out. It's not me saying, this is facts. Pleasure always, fellas. Thank you, guys.
It's amazing, Don. You can't even rebut him.
No,
you can't. He just goes on. It's like he's got everything rehearsed, and then if you try to say, he feels sorry for New York City because Alcaraz lost. I think New York City will survive. I think the Open will survive. They'll still charge $23 for alcoholic drinks. They're all right. They're all right. The final will be the final without Alcaraz.
Well, it's no interaction. You just pop him on, you let him go, and that's it. And you know what he does? And he doesn't want any respect. He says goodbye, and you hear the click of the phone.
You know what? I'm seriously thinking about, you know what? Let's take him maybe once a week because it doesn't do the show any favors. Because he's not interacting with us. He gets up on his podium and starts screaming.
Yeah, Anthony, I don't think he has the technology, but can he just, like, load up his opinions before the show and we can just play it later on whenever we want?
Yeah, maybe you could cut it.
Or just not, and then we don't have to play it. How about a little interaction, people, right?
Yeah, I got that same diatribe. It was basically the same. It's pretty amazing.
So he gives you so he practices with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we might have to call an audible on this, Don. And also, you can't get excited about Colorado winning that game. I don't care how good a Division II team is. It's a Division II team. I mean, they should blow them out.
Is it a Division II team?
FCS, but
yeah, they don't have Division II, 3 anymore.
But still, it's not that to me.
He's going to face some tough competition in the Big 12.
I don't know what. Listen, I'm sure he's a great recruiter. He's a great story. I don't know what kind of coach he is.
And the kid Hunter might win the Heisman Trophy.
We'll see. But
yeah, I was reading stuff today, Don. That I think it might have even been Tannenbaum who said it. He's going to end up coaching the Cal. How do we know he could coach?
I don't. Maybe he can. Maybe I don't know. But
you can get the Dallas Cowboys next year.
That game almost felt like a loss, Michael. I mean, they should have been blowing them away, and they didn't.
There were a lot of losses at the end of last season too.
You know, and that Hail Mary comes up a little short. Otherwise, they would have lost the game. Listen, he's a great story, and I think he's a fun character. But that'd be an awful chance for Jerry Jones to take if he decides to part ways with McCarthy and hand it over to a complete unknown like that.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather a 72-year-old Bill Belichick take over, or would you rather Deion Sanders take over? Because the Cowboys don't need to sell tickets, Don. And Deion Sanders not going to be recruiting as an NFL coach. So let's all pump the brakes just a little bit. Win some games this year. Let's see. So he won games at an HBCU and did a great job there. And last year, it was not that great. It was a great start, and they couldn't get out of their own way at the end. And then you sneak by against an FBS school? I don't know. I think everybody has to relax. Because he is a good story, as you said, so people just go gaga. But let's see him coach. Let's see him coach before we give him the Dallas Cowboy job. My goodness. Don, how about Mazda?
Get more in a new Mazda from Ram.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. For every pair of glasses or sunglasses sold, a pair of glasses is distributed to someone in need. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
The wait is over.
Now arriving, soft-side suitcases from Away.
I won the lottery with Jack Pocket.
Press the button to order your lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone and
my phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The WB Mason Yankees postgame delivers the goods.
What a great opening day win for the Yankees. We're dogs out here. That was a Yankee classic right there.
Watch the WB Mason postgame after every Yankees game on Yes and the Yes app.
So you do that in the NFL, there's a lot more attention than if you do it in Colorado. So again, great story. Great recruiter. His son's the quarterback, the whole deal. He's brought a lot of attention to Colorado. That doesn't mean he's a great head coach. We have to see. Before you give him the Dallas Cowboy job, you got to see. Sorry, you have to see. Everything has to be done so quickly nowadays, Don. Now he's going to be an NFL coach. Why? Why? Because he's a great recruiter? What does that mean?
But can he coach in the NFL? Because you're not going to be recruiting. It's a completely different style of play. Now, listen, I think he's tremendous. He's good for the game. He's a personality. I don't like what he did with the reporters and all that, but I don't know if that's going to cost him a chance to coach in the NFL. What's going to cost him is can he coach? And I don't know that he can. He can recruit. He can get their games on national television. He's somebody that definitely creates a buzz. But you know what creates a buzz in the NFL, Michael? Winning games. I don't know if he could do that.
Hey, it's time for weekend weather.
Okay.
Brought to you by Grand Marnier. Visit grandmarnier.com to learn how to take your summer cocktails from ordinary to unforgettable and live grand. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 79. Thunderstorm Sunday with a high of 82. And sunny and a high of 79 on Labor Day. So good news for the most part. You don't like those thunderstorms Sunday, but Labor Day, kind of the unofficial end of summer. 79, that sounds nice, right?
It does. Not bad. I just, it's depressing to see, like, sunset at 7:30. I liked when the days were longer. The sun was out longer, do more. But football's coming.
Do you have, a couple coming over for the pool this weekend or what?
No, I'm going to a barbecue at my cousin's on Sunday.
First cousin?
And then just kind of, yes.
Okay.
And then just whatever, to get something done. Try to get something, I don't know if we'll be swimming, though, with those temperatures.
You'll be in that pool. You love that pool. You keep it open until November.
Yeah, but a lot of it just aesthetics, just because it looks nice.
Nice.
Who wants to see a tarp in your backyard?
It's time for Diamond Notes, Don. Brought to you by London Jewelers and driven to you by Nissan. Good day for the Mets. We were on the air when they won. Big hit by Iglesias in the ninth inning. Then a real nice bounce back by Edwin Diaz. And one thing you got to give credit to the Mets, they have 2 kick-in-the-teeth losses in the road trip. And you know what? They came back and won the next day.
That's it.
So they got the teeth repaired right away. And then on top of that, the Braves jumped out to an early lead. Charlie Morton did not have it, though. And Phillies come back and win. So the Braves will play 3 games against the Phillies remaining in that series, while the Mets are playing the White Sox, who, you can make the case they're the worst team in the history of Major League Baseball.
No.
Now, they should win all 3, but the Yankees should have won all 3, too, and they won 2 out of 3.
No, you're right, but you know what? I can't excuse any losses. When you need wins, you need to make up ground. You've got the Braves in Philly, so you at least have, I think, an excellent chance here to gain a game over the weekend. So after gaining the game last night, gain a game this weekend, now you cut it down to 2, and now you're in business. No, I'm sorry. This team is 31-104. They've lost 104 games, and we still have 2 more days in August, Michael. Unless all of a sudden they go on a little bit of a toot, they're going to easily lose north of 120 games. This will be statistically the worst team in the history of baseball. And you need wins, and your competition's going up against a really good Philadelphia team, Michael. You have to bring out the broom. Have to.
And for the Braves,
I know McGill's going tonight, but still, it's a team with 104 losses.
For the Braves yesterday, how big that loss was. If they win that game, they're 4 games behind the Phillies for first place.
I know.
So that was a 2-game swing. Now they're 6 back in the loss column. The Mets are 3 back in the loss column from the Braves. So, big weekend. Big weekend. You got to take all 3. Got to go into Chicago, take all three. Now, Chicago does get teams sometimes because it's such a great town. It's open so late. And you wonder, are you as well rested? And is there that apathy about playing a team that's that bad? Because remember the game the Yankees lost? They got embarrassed in that game, Don. They got embarrassed.
But I do think there is something. I mean, you're battling for a division, but you know you're a playoff team. Mets do not have anything secured. They have to gain ground. Now, if you're going to allow yourself to get caught up in Chicago, well, then you're not a good team. Then you're allowing yourself to be distracted. They had to come in from Arizona, so they got in late to Chicago, so they probably didn't go out tonight. They've got a night game on Saturday, so maybe that could be an issue. And then you got the day game on Sunday. So, listen, you can't be taking yourself seriously if you're going to allow how fun Chicago can be to get in the way. Now, if you want to look past teams, how dare you look past anybody, especially the Mets? Right? They could have swept the Marlins, didn't. They could have swept the Rockies, didn't. They've got a history of getting knocked out. When they blew it in 07, Michael, it was to the Marlins at the end of the season. So I'm sorry. You can't take anybody lightly. You should just get it. This is a chance to mop up, maybe gain a game or two. I mean, who knows? Maybe, Michael, we get to Monday, they could be a game out.
Yeah. No, they could be tied.
Just get it done. Honestly, and have yourself a winning road trip, and then you come home on Monday, and then it gets a little tougher. Then you've got the Boston Red Sox, and then you've got the Reds, were a little bit easier. But you got to take care of business again, Michael. This team is going to lose 100. I don't know how many games they might lose 125 games.
Amazing, and they weren't. I mean, they weren't trying. I mean, it's not like they just broke the team down and expected. They made some trades. I understand that, but not to this point. Now, let me give you an idea of the perils of Chicago.
Okay.
I've heard stories. Now, the big street in Chicago for younger people, I don't go there anymore, but I used to live there, is Rush Street. A whole bunch of bars. And have you ever seen the movie About Last Night, which I love? You know,
very good movie.
Was it Rob Lowe and
Rob Lowe and Demi Moore,
and also Jim Belushi?
Yes.
That he's playing me, by the way, in that movie. That's me. That's younger me. And so teams, after they played, especially the Cubs, they'd go to Rush Street. And sometimes the team bus, I'm not saying the Yankees, I've heard these stories, would drive by Rush Street for a day game, and they would pick players up in alleyways. That is now Chicago's a lot different than the Chicago you see on About Last Night. It's more dangerous. There's a lot of crime now. So I don't know if the hours are shorter. But back in the day, I mean, you could do damage in Chicago. You really could. What a wonderful, wonderful town.
Now, what
Let's
is that?
have to avoid that.
I get confused. What is it? The Magnificent Mile or Miracle Mile?
Which one is in Long Island? I think the Magnificent.
I forget which.
I think
one.
it's Magnificent Mile in Chicago.
Listen, I love Chicago, Michael, but even you admit, as much as you love Chicago, it's not New York. These guys are from New York, so they know.
Yeah, but their families are in New York, so they don't go out in New York.
I don't know. I was never a big partier. I do enjoy a nice town. I do enjoy Chicago. Although I'm not that in love with the deep dish. Was it Giordano's? You
love it. Love it.
It's too cakey.
It is cakey. You know what? One of the most frustrating arguments I hear. Well, New York pizza is better. Well, yeah, New York pizza is a different dish than Chicago pizza. Chicago pizza is not really pizza. Right. It's almost like a souffle or a pie. So you can't compare the two. I love New York pizza. Yeah, if you say choose one, I take New York pizza. But Chicago pizza is extraordinary. It'll clog up an artery in an hour.
Now, what's the steakhouse you turn me on to?
Gibson's.
Yeah. God, see, I like it for the restaurants.
I think I'm going to hit the town next weekend with Shambi. We're going to close some places.
See, I think he looks like somebody who can do a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he will. And I think he's going to bring me down with him. That's what I think. So we'll see. We'll see if he's up for it. Because I haven't been on the road. The last road trip I did was a drivable one to Philly. So I was off last week. Yankees been home a lot in August. And then, You know, they have 2 more road trips. They have this one, which is 3 games in Texas and then 3 games in Chicago. Then they're home. And then they have another West Coast trip, which I'm going on, Don. Seattle and Oakland. I don't miss games in September. Not allowed.
And Texas and Chicago, that's like one completely different vibe to the other because, I mean, I like Dallas, but we've talked about it. I don't get that flight. I don't understand it.
It's hellish is what it is. It's
but I don't get it.
You look up 3 hours in, you're not even there yet, and you go,
but I don't know. But somebody needs to explain it to me. A flight to L.A. will take roughly 5.5 hours?
Yeah, roughly.
But the flight to Dallas is 4. How?
It's wrong. That's how.
Dallas is in the middle of the country. L.A. is on the other side of the country. What's going on? And they're both south. Why does it take 4 hours to get to Dallas and only an hour and a half more to get to
It's one of life's
LA?
great questions. It really is.
I need to know. Maybe is there a pilot? Is there somebody that can explain it to me?
It's longer than it should be. It just is. I'm sorry. It's a flight I dread. I think it's the flight to Houston. I'm gonna make an outrageous statement right now, Don.
Okay.
It's the flight to Houston that convinced John Sterling he wanted out.
I could see that.
Oh,
because
it just took everything out of him, and then we had to go to Phoenix after that to open the season. That road trip convinced him I'm good.
Because if you're going to Seattle, and for me, well, there's Seattle now in the NHL, but it was always be the trip to Vancouver. You buckle it, you know. All right, you know this is a long flight.
All right, it's like going to Mars.
You're going to the other, and so you've mentally prepared yourself for a long flight. You're good. And even though you know it's 4 hours to Houston or Dallas, you look at the map and you go, it's only halfway. So it shouldn't be that long. Maybe this will finally be the time. It doesn't take 4.5 hours. It does, and it kills you.
Well, let's talk about the Yankees. They start a 3-game set at home against the Cardinals. So they pretty much get home, wash their clothes, pack again, and leave on Sunday. This is a really important time. You know, I looked over the remainder of the schedule. It's not easy. I think they have the 4th toughest schedule in the American League, and the Orioles have one of the easiest schedules in the American League. So you would say, well, that's bad, right? But it's not, because the Yankees play better against better teams. Their record against winning teams is 44-30. That's the best in the majors. Against teams 500 or below, and by the way, the Cardinals are exactly 500, they're 34-26. That's 19th in baseball.
Holy crap.
So the Yankees have 3 games against the Cardinals this weekend, and then 3 games in Texas, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, in Arlington against the Rangers. While they're playing those games, right, those games are fraught with peril. St. Louis still on the fringes of wild card, so they can dream. And Texas is the defending world champion. While they're doing that, Donald, the Orioles' next 6 games, 3 games against the Rockies in Colorado, and then they come home and they play 3 games against the White Sox.
There you go.
So
you would think that's at least 5 or 6.
Right, you would think, but the Orioles have struggled as well, and the Yankees have a 2-game lead in the loss column over the Orioles. So these games are big. Another thing that you have to look at, for some reason, and I don't know why, I don't have the answer, the Yankees' winning percentage at home is .554, 12th in baseball. It's .609 on the road, which is the best in baseball. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I can't make sense of it, but here's something that has helped the Yankees. Since July 27th, so about a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're 18-11, while the Orioles are 16-6. So you can say Yankees should have really run away with things. 16-16. But the Yankees were 7 games over 500, so how much more can you ask of them?
Oh, you said so the Orioles were 16-16.
Yeah.
You said 16-6. So no,
16-16. Sorry.
All right, they were 5. Yeah. And then if you go back to when the Yankees were really struggling and the Orioles didn't take advantage of, the Orioles have been very pedestrian for a while now.
They have so many. I got to give them some props. They have so many injuries. You know, we talk about the Braves. About an entire starting staff for the Orioles is hurt. Their bullpen is terrible. Kimbrel is now not even pitching in high-leverage situations. They haven't had Bautista all year. I mean, they're hanging, but they've got enough talent that they should be playing better than this, and they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers.
And I don't want to get on Yankee fans. I think all fans are this way. But I think if Yankee fans, and I'm not speaking to all of them, But if they really took the deep dive into the rest of the teams in baseball, like really had an intimate knowledge of everybody and all the inner workings, you'd feel a lot better about the Yankees. Because I think they're all flawed. They're all flawed. This is going to be the first time in 10 years there will not be a 100-win team this year. So, all right, you listen, Milwaukee's running away with their division. That's because the Central stinks. All right, I don't think there's a complete team out there. Now, somebody's going to get hot and somebody's going to figure it out, and maybe Houston is the team because of their pedigree. But Michael, who doesn't have a flaw?
No,
who doesn't have
everybody
injuries?
does.
You know, so but teams, like fans, they look at their team. Like I focus on the Mets, you focus on the Yankees, but if you take a look, all of these teams have issues. All of them have problems. All of them have hit the skids at some point. All of them have suffered, devastating injuries. And so it's just a matter of what shape are you going to be in once we get to October. And that's the team that's going to make a run.
And the Yankees, when we get to September, all right, September starts on Sunday, they're going to be as close to whole as they've been all year. They're going to get back Rizzo. They're going to get back Schmidt. They're going to get back Heel. They have their entire rotation in order. After not having Cole for the first couple of months of the season, he's their ace, so everybody else you've got. Then, when they decide, they can bring up Hamilton, they could bring up Efros, they could bring up Birdie, they can really stack their bullpen. So, no excuses. No excuses. Finish first in the American League East. Because if you finish first in the East, you know what? You got a much better chance of getting to the World Series. Yeah. If you have to be a wild card, and I will take those days off, rather than exposing myself to maybe losing 2 out of 3 and having my season ending in a wild card series. Yeah. Give me all the days off. That's what they should be aiming for.
I am with you, but the brief history of the third wild card says something else.
Only of late, because if you look at the teams that have had byes before that, they do make the World Series. Joel Sherman had it in his column today. So only of late, the last year the 2 World Series teams were wild card teams. The year before that, the team that went to the World Series, the Phillies, was a wild card team. But before those 3 teams, the team with the bye does very well.
Hey, I would rather set my rotation and get that break, but it's not. It's not as simple. I think that's something you have to go for, but I don't think it's a death sentence if you're a wild card team, and I don't think it's any kind of.
But if you lose 2 out of 3, Don, it's a death sentence. Literally, your season died. No,
you're right. But like I said, recently we've seen, it sunk the Braves, it sunk the Phillies, but then it's worked for the Phillies as a wild card. It certainly worked for the Diamondbacks last year. Where, I don't know, you start to get on a little bit of a run. It is a bit of a break, Michael. It depending on how it breaks, it could be it's longer than the All-Star break. So sometimes you get taken out of your rhythm. Sometimes it messes you up. But all I know is if I'm planning things out, I'd much rather go into a series rested and have my rotation set the way I want it than having to come over possibly 3 grueling games and then maybe, diving right in and taking on a team that's got his rotation set. That's the way I'd like to play it, but it doesn't seem to be written in stone.
They haven't asked me, Don, but I will give any team that finishes first a good bit of advice.
Okay.
Take your best minor league team because their season will be over by October. Keep them ready, and then have your 4th and 5th starters play games during the wild card round. They start the game as if they're starting a real game. Whoever you choose as your 4th and 5th guys, because they're not going to start the first 3 games of the best of 5, let them pitch, and your team plays your AAA team. This way you keep them somewhat sharp. You can't just sit back and do nothing. You can't play inter-squad games because they're not going to go at each other that hard. You got to have Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez if he hasn't been called up. You have to have all your best minor league players going against the big team with your 4th and 5th starters going. That's what I would do.
No, I like it too. It's something to certainly think about. And you've got the proximity is pretty close. It's not the old days where the Mets AAA was in Vegas. I mean, you can make this happen. Even if it's Somerset and a AA team, Michael, it's a quick jaunt down 287 and play a series, get into a game. It's probably a very smart thing to do.
And I'm giving that advice free, Don. I'm not asking for any.
Listen, but if they were to offer something, you'd take it.
No, I wouldn't even take it. I'm just trying to help. 33 years announcing the games. I'm just trying to help. Because that's what I'm about. I'm help. I'm the help, and I'm trying to help.
Good for you.
That's it. I've changed my whole act. Money's not that important.
That's a major change, Mike.
Huge.
What happened?
Huge. Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. And driven by Nissan, you deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com. So we got a lot of stuff to do still. We really do. And we're going to take it seriously, and we're going to make it fun. That's our motto. We want to make you happy as you head out into Labor Day weekend. Be careful. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family and friends. Drop by Don's pool. He's got a keg open. It's going to be great.
Never had a keg in my house.
Okay. Get end of summer savings at Bay Ridge Honda.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Oh, it's about to be a party in here. BetMGM's got all the sports betting in one place. And it's live, baby. Ooh, we're placing money lines in real time. We got second half spreads and third set winners as they happen. Overs hitting in extra innings. Live is where the action is at. And with BetMGM, woo, I got the best seat in the house.
You don't want to miss History on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
How's the ketchup? Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorento models.
Isn't it absolutely bonkers that you can walk into a store, hand someone a piece of plastic, and they will willingly hand over Reese's cups? Forget flying cars. This is it. We're at the pinnacle.
Shop the September holiday sale at Sherwin-Williams and transform your space with color. Get 30% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $34.29. Find your new color August 30th through September 9th. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
through a summer of performance event going on now.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Your preset with ESPN New York. Please show us you're listening by uploading a photo of a device playing the new 880 ESPN New York for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Head to the contest tile on the ESPN New York app to enter. This week's giveaway is a 4-pack of tickets to Pearl Jam at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, September 4th. Now be sure to reset your preset to the new 880 ESPN New York. Now, Don, I'm using today my wife's SUV, which is an electric car.
Okay.
Doesn't have AM. So I know this is our last day on 98.7. I wanted to check out the 101.1 HD2.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
It sounds unbelievable. Let me try that again. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's so good. Sounds so great.
So there are options for people.
Yes, the ESPN app.
The app is awesome. The fact that people can get 880 anywhere is awesome. So there's just different ways to consume us. So take advantage. But that I don't think a lot of people understand that HD. Not everybody gets it, but there are probably people that have it don't even know how it works. So
yeah, just go to 101.1, which is an oldie station, CBS, and then just go one click more, and it's 101.1 HD2, and boom, you got it. Now, some cars don't have it, but most do. So you got options, baby. All anybody wants in life is options. Yay! Let's go to Jose in Massachusetts.
Hello?
Hello, Jose.
How are you, Michael and Don?
We're doing great. How about you?
Good.
Good.
So I'm currently on a road trip from Massachusetts to Vermont, and I'm in New Hampshire, and I'm hearing it perfectly fine on the 880.
Love it.
And I have one more other point after that.
Okay.
So remember the last time I called a few weeks ago and told you that I'm now a sports journalist with the New England Knockouts?
Yes, I do remember.
Yes. So Jake Boone is the nephew of Aaron Boone, and this season he's putting an unbelievable number in the Frontier League, batting .289 with 21 doubles, 11 home runs, and 53 RBIs. It's a huge uptick from last year. So I believe Jake Boone could be a big name star and follow the footsteps of Aaron Boone and Brett Boone in the major leagues in a few years.
Jake is Brett's son, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, good to know. I'll talk to Aaron about it this weekend. Thank you, Jose. Let's go to Matt in Mount Vernon.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
You got it. What's up?
So my question is this: the series against the Nationals was frustrating, right? Leaving 1 for 26 on base, and after the game, Aaron Boone said something to the effect of, we're grinding good at bats. My gripe is not with Aaron Boone because everyone knows why he's there. He's a player's manager. But how are the players then repaying his public upfront defense of him, leaving all these guys on base, getting embarrassed in Chicago? If they don't have the right guys, they've missed the boat somewhere. And the thing that scares analytic people they don't know if these guys can handle New York because you can't put a number on that, right? So it just seems to me like the problem is not with with the manager. Sorry, it's with the guys because they're clearly not getting the job done. And I just kind of want to know what your thoughts on player performance and kind of managerial defense.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack about what you just asked, Matt. First of all, they have the third best record in baseball. So, I mean, as flawed as they are, they have the third best record in the game. So let's put that aside. In terms of guys handling New York, Soto doesn't have a problem in New York. Judge doesn't have a problem in New York. Volpe doesn't have a problem in New York. Stanton, I think, could play anywhere. He could play on Morris. He'd have the same disposition. Wells looks like New York does. I don't think it's New York. I don't think it's the pressure of New York. They've had a spotty season, some guys. They just have. But, even a guy as great as Soto. You know what Soto was in D.C., Don? He was 0 for 13. It happens.
It does happen. But what I'd ask these people, and not everybody is the same caller. So when I say callers, it's different people. But am I wrong, Michael? Did everybody pick the Yankees to win the World Series this year? I didn't get that sense. I thought they were in the mix, but there were a lot of people that felt that, they were a good team, but they were a flawed team. I don't think the Yankee fans were all predicting. I think some of them were very disappointed. They didn't do more during the offseason. And now you're saying that they've been a disappointment when they've got the third best record in baseball. What were your expectations going in? I know it's World Series or bust, Michael, but what were all the fans saying during the offseason? They loved the Soto deal, but I heard a lot of complaints they didn't do more. So if they weren't in love with the team going in, then why are you complaining about the fact that maybe in the minds of some people they've actually overachieved? Jeff Passan didn't have them winning a championship this year. He wasn't even sure they were going to be a playoff team, remember? Everybody thought that Cole was going to be killing them by not being ready for the start of the season. They more than survived that. So doesn't it kind of come across as complaining just for the sake of complaining? We don't have the best team in baseball, so something's wrong.
I'm gonna defend them a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you watch every game, they've left a lot of wins on the table. They've left a lot of wins there. I mean, even though they have the third best record in baseball, they should be playing better at home. They should be playing better against 500 or below teams, and they haven't done it. So that's what's frustrating fans. Forget about what the prediction was at the beginning of the season. It's right there for them. They should be running away with the American League East, and they haven't done it because they've let a lot of wins on the table.
But, I could be doing a talk show in Baltimore saying this team won north of 100 games last year, won the division last year, and they've left a lot of games on the table. They've played very average at times. They could probably be talking up having a 5-6 game lead on the Yankees when the Yankees were struggling from June into August, right? I mean, Philadelphia, why are the Atlanta, Michael, going into if the Braves had won last night, a team debilitated by injuries would be 4 back of Philadelphia, who looked like they were the best team in baseball. I mean, the Astros got off to a miserable start. They've righted their ship, but they were terrible at the beginning of the season. I just think that it's just how baseball is right now, Michael. The fact there is no elite team. There is no best team in baseball. It seems to fluctuate. It's just one of those years, and I think the Yankees are just like every other team. Now, are they supposed to be better than every other team? I don't know. I didn't get the sense at the beginning of the season that they were on the fast track to win 110 games. Did you?
No, but I thought they'd win 95 or up. I'm not sure if it gets to 95.
All right, but they have the third best record in baseball.
No, I know. That's what makes it so frustrating.
And you said, well, they need to play better against lousy teams. They're ranked 22nd against teams under 500. They've got the best record in baseball against teams above 500.
Right.
So is that supposed to be the case? No. So let's say they ended up being much better against the lousy teams. You can make the case that they could be a lot worse against the great teams. I just think people have warped expectations that this is going to be like it was back in the day, where the Yankees were always going to be the best team in baseball because of their payroll. I think the game has changed dramatically, where it's hard to be that great and that consistent. And injuries have really plagued a lot of teams, too. So I think you can make the case that Yankee fans should be happy. You're in first place.
But it's tenuous, so that's what gets people scared. It's tenuous. Okay. Again, they should be, because the Orioles have stubbed their toe the way they have, and they've had so many injuries, the Yankees should be running away with the East. Instead, it's going to be a nail-biter. Okay. That series against the Orioles in September might be it.
But is that something to complain about, honestly, that you're not running away with a division?
No, but I mean, fans are fans. They want their team to run away with it. And, I mean, I'm not saying that they should have 110 wins, but, Don, you've watched every game. You've observed. They should be better than this.
Right, and could you make the case with their payroll the Dodgers should be better?
Yes.
Now the Dodgers are still great, but they're not going to win 115 games. But boy, when it started and getting Yamamoto and getting Ohtani and the team they had already to begin with, you think, oh, this is a team that should be able to just cruise to a championship. I don't know if they're going to win a championship or not. The Brewers, they got the biggest lead of any team in any division, right? Are they going to win a championship, Michael? My bet would probably be no. Right? The Guardians have been one of the teams with the best record in baseball. They've survived the Bieber injury. I don't know if they're winning a championship. They might not even win their division. I just think that's how baseball is. There's a lot of parity. It's a sport that was the last one to hang on. Everybody had parity, but now I think baseball's got it too.
Let's go to Rob in New Brunswick. Rob.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
What's up?
Well, first, I need to thank you. This is the only second time I've ever called in a sports show. But you really helped me get through COVID. Stuck in my apartment all by myself. You guys are great. I love you all.
That's
Peter
one of the things
well.
we love hearing, Rob. We hear that so much. Thanks,
Rob.
No, that was a tough time. I survived. It was challenging for other folks.
I'll tell you what, Rob. Let's get a beer at Old Man Rafferty's one day.
Oh, bingo. Oh, Panico's got sold.
Oh, it did?
Shame.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, my first time to the Michael K. Show.
What's up?
So I've been a Yankee fan since June 15th, 1977.
What happened on that day?
That was the day the Mets traded Tom Seaver.
Oh, so you shifted over from the Met. Wow.
No, actually, it worked out well.
Right? I think it did. I think it did for you. It's hard to believe that was the trading deadline. Remember, Michael?
Yep.
June 15th. Well, he's gone now.
He's gone.
I don't know what happened there, but I think he was going to say that the Rutgers was running out the clock.
I didn't
watch
they
every
weren't
play.
Because why was the Howard coach upset? You can run out the clock by kneeling. You have to run plays.
Yeah, and it was an 11-yard touchdown. I mean, they could have stopped them, but it wasn't like they were throwing 50-yard touchdown passes. But you run the ball. Your job is to try to stop them. Getting back to the conversation from the beginning of the show, Mike, I still think it's very awkward when you're the losing team to complain. You beat us up too much.
Hey, you took the money.
It does come across a little disingenuous, right? I mean, you're a 38-point underdog, and don't rub it in. Come on, tackle. You were in the game. I mean, it wasn't like you were never in the game. It was 14-7 late in the second quarter. It was scoreless for a while. I mean, let's not make them out to be like the little engine that could. I mean, they got players. They could have tackled. They could have stopped them on the 11-yard touchdown run.
But they're not as good as Rutgers.
They're not as good. But like you said, they took the money. They played. They kind of knew the rules of engagement going in. You could be said all you want. Complaining about it just comes across as bad.
Let's go to Dave in Portchester. Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
You were talking about the wild card and winning the divisional. You can blame the month of August. This is the month I called it in the early August, and said the Yankees play absolutely nobody. They end up 13-11 as of today. I predicted they'd go 18-6. They blew games against the worst teams in baseball, and Baltimore flubbed the whole thing. They could be up by 5 games right now and blow some games in September, and that could be the difference between the wild card thing. That's one thing you could talk about. And here's a point, like you say, nobody gives you a chance to talk. I just want to know, I think there should be 2 different awards in all sports. One called the BSP, the best statistical player, and the other one, the MVP, most valuable player. I'll use A-Rod as an example. When he was on Texas, the team finished 50 games out, even though he had 50 home runs and 1 million RBIs and whatever he batted. I don't care if he batted over 300. If he didn't even play, he's not valuable. He's not the most valuable player of the league.
Dave, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's a great idea. and I've always wondered about it. Cal Ripken Jr., I think, won on a last-place team. Andre Dawson won on a last-place team. How valuable can you be? If you take them off the team, they're still last place.
I think the reason they won't do it, Michael, and I don't understand why, but I think the reason they would give you is that a lot of times you'd be giving it to the same person. So if Judge wins the MVP, he's still going to win the other award that Dave was suggesting. He's still the best statistical player in the American League, and the same for Ohtani. They'd win both, so I'd say so what? But on the rare occasion where the best player is on a lousy team, then, give the MVP to somebody else and give the best player award to another guy. So, yeah, sometimes they'll double up, but it still sounds fair to me.
Yeah, but the times that they don't double, I mean, the times that, a guy on a last-place team has the best statistical season, he really shouldn't be the most valuable player.
Right, but he should get something for being the best statistical player. But I just think that their appetite not to do it is this year, Ohtani and Judge would win both.
Well, it will show you how dominant they are.
Right, exactly. So what's the? I don't see a problem with it, but I bet you that's the reason they give you.
We'll come back with more of your phone calls. We'll break down the upcoming college football, and we're only a week away from making our picks, Don, for the first week of football. We've already done our survivor pool. I have the Bengals, you have the Bills, right?
Yes.
Outstanding.
I'm kind of rooting for Peter to forget to do it.
Yeah, because then he's out immediately.
He's out.
But if I know Peter, he wants to pick a loser so that he doesn't have to be bothered for the rest of the year.
You think, what kind of piece of garbage would want to do that, Michael?
Him.
What the F?
Yeah, him. We'll come back right here on Yes and on 880 ESPN.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
You want to win the division.
This is the battle of the American League East.
You don't want to miss History on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the Bluetooth actually work?
Bro, you get a month for free.
It's free. Why are you asking me and not finding out for yourself? The first month is free. Go get you some chewables, man, all right?
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Current eligible GMC lessees can get this low-mileage lease on this 2024 Sierra Elevation for around $389 per month. We are professional grade GMC.
This Labor Day, A.J. Perry salutes you, the American worker. Come home to comfort by taking up to $2,024 off a qualified new HVAC system. This Labor Day special is valid for a limited time only. Call 844-668-7555 to schedule your appointment.
Some of us that his dad kept the gun with his father and stories and being shot and hurting.
Starting on Tuesday when we return after the Labor Day holiday, 880 or 101.1 HD2 on the FM side, or the ESPN app, ESPN New York app, or, yes, those are the way to consume us. Got it?
So plenty of options.
Tonight at Yankee Stadium is Aaron Judge football jersey night. And I saw a picture on social media. This was about at 3:30. Crowds are around the block just to get this. And the Yankees, some of the Yankees are taking BP in the jersey. Pretty cool in jersey.
Cool. I just missed it. I was on there. I'd like to see it.
It has 99 on it, Don.
Does it say Judge on the back?
I didn't see that. I think it does because it's not. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, see, that's classic.
It says 99 on the front and the back. Yeah, pretty sharp. Let's go to John in Cranford. Johnny.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great. You?
Fantastic.
Good.
I sell things for a living, and I go down to Philadelphia area, and now I can hear you guys on 880, which is awesome.
I love it.
So, winner on that. But, Don, so one of your favorite haunts, Andy's Corner. I met Martin Brodeur out in the wild there.
In Hawthorne?
Yes, sir.
Really?
It's one of his favorite spots. Barb knows him very well. I'm assuming you know Barb.
Wow. How about that? I did not know. That's where I would usually go, Michael, after, like, my mom had a doctor's appointment. We'd go there and have breakfast. So imagine running into Marty Brodeur there. Wow.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. I mean, you must live around there then, because I don't know why you would just pop into Andy's Corner. I'd have to investigate.
How long has Andy's Corner been around? It sounds like a good place.
I don't want to get it wrong. It's got to be at least 20 years. It wasn't there when I was growing up. I forget what it was called when I was growing up. But it was always been like a bagel place that like a kind of, not a diner, but kind of like a cafe.
So it's not a place to get a beer. It's just...
No. No, this is a place where you break bread. Like, you can go stop in, get a muffin, maybe get a nice Western omelet.
Last time you had a muffin, I'd like to know. Last time.
This morning.
You don't seem like a muffin guy.
I enjoy a nice chocolate chip muffin from Dunkin' Donuts. After kickboxing, I'll get a coffee, get a muffin, heat it up for 25 seconds in the microwave. Delicious.
But aren't you defeating the kickboxing? You're just putting it right back.
I mean, I got to have breakfast. What am I going to go stop someplace and get I don't know. What's the omelet without the yolk?
Yolkless?
I don't know. There's something I'm missing it. I'm not gonna get that. Listen, I do admit that
egg white omelet.
Egg white. Yeah, I'm not getting that.
That's the omelet I tried. It was awful.
Here's the way I'm dealing with it, and it's working for me. Is that I do the kickboxing, and I'm portion control. But I don't eat great things. I'm not diet things, but I try to keep the portions down. Instead of having 4 slices of pizza, have 2. Something like that, you know. So that it's working for me. But that's a nice. You don't think that's a nice breakfast?
Yeah, it's
like a cup of coffee and a muffin.
Yeah, if you enjoy it, you deserve it. It reminds me the slices thing reminds me of the Yogi joke. And it's not a joke. He actually said it. He ordered a pizza, and they said, "Do you want me to cut it into 16 slices or 8?" He said, "I could never finish 16. Make it 8."
I miss him.
Let's go to Richie in Kingston. Richie.
That's a nice breakfast. Hello, Michael. Hello, Dan. How are you guys?
Good. What's up?
No, Dan's
Here's
not
what's
here.
up. Listen, both of you understand baseball more than anybody that I know of, other than my father, God rest his soul. Listen, this is one thing which perturbs me. Who cannot actually make these ball players, and I mean the guys that you put on the field, hit the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. However, he's the commander as far as the bullpen, so he makes the majority of the moves. Now, please tell me this. Why does he keep on going to Holmes? He is not a closer. He's worse than Chapman ever was. When he comes in, he gives you a heart attack.
Well, what does that matter? What does that matter?
Pardon me?
What does it matter if he gives you a heart attack as long as he gets the job done? Now, he's blown 10 saves, but as a closer, Richie, I don't know if you realize, he made the All-Star team.
Michael, you and I both know All-Star team is one thing. The Yankees should have had at least 6 more wins. He blew 10 saves.
I get it. He has not had a good year, but you can't say he stinks.
Right,
he made the All-Star team, Rich.
Who do you want to see close?
Yeah, who do you want to close instead of him?
Go in that bullpen, and there's 3 guys in there that you could pick and make them a closer.
Yeah, who are they?
Clay Holmes is not a closer.
Well, tell me the guys that can close.
Get a 1, 2,
tell
3.
me the guys who can close. I'd like to know.
I think that guy Ian is pretty good.
He's been hurt for 3 months. Ian Hamilton's been hurt for 3 months. What else?
I know that. He's hurt for 3 months. What about that young kid? I can't think of his name. Winters?
Who?
The young kid that comes in on the 6th or 7th inning. Oh, God. I can't think of his name right now.
Well,
but the point I'm trying to make
no
is
idea if any of these guys can close. Now, I agree with you. Holmes has struggled. He's got 10 blown saves, but you got to give me an option. If there's a flamethrower, strikeout guy that they're missing on, then you should kill Boone for not going to that guy. Michael, that guy doesn't exist. For all I know, that they can bring in somebody to make it worse.
But people,
all indications are they would.
People are myopic about their own team, which I understand. They're a fan of that said team. How do Met fans feel about Edwin Diaz, who's a great closer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gave up a go-ahead winning run in San Diego to Jackson Merrill, and then gave up a grand slam to Corbin Carroll.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I think the best closer in baseball is probably Josh Hader, and he's a thrill a minute every now and then.
But I don't even want to go there. I do think they can do better than Holmes in theory. I just don't know if it's on their roster. Listen, I don't want to kill the guy, but he brought up a guy that's on the IL and can't think of the other guy's name. So that basically the answer is I don't know. He's frustrated with Holmes. I get you should be frustrated with Holmes. He leads the league in blown saves. But for all we know, Boone can bring in somebody else who would be even worse. I have to assume they know better than we do. He must still be their best option. Now, if you want to kill Cashman for not getting a closer at the deadline, have at it. What closer was available, Michael? No. What closer did a team get that the Yankees could have gotten that would have been better than Holmes?
The closest was the guy that the Padres acquired from the Marlins.
Okay, so if you want to get
Scott, that's the closest.
All right, so if you want to call up and kill Cashman for not getting Scott, well, then I think that's a good retort. That's a good phone call. But just I hate Holmes. I'm going to kill Boone for bringing him in. Who do you want him to bring in? Anybody? Well, anybody could be 10 times worse.
You call up and say, the one thing I can't really handle, he stinks. He doesn't stink. Has he had a great year? No. He's lost, he's blown 10 saves. 7 of them ended up being Yankee losses. So if they'd won just 4 of those 7, they'd be in much better shape. I get it. So I'm not saying he's Sparky Lyle, Goose Gossage, and Mariano Rivera thrown into one pile. He's not. He's not a perfect closer, but he doesn't stink everybody. I love he makes you sweat. So what? So what? Mariano's a once-in-a-lifetime pitcher, so this guy makes you sweat.
Hey, I think it's a problem, and if you don't want to say he stinks, fine, but that's Boone's problem for continuing to go with him? What is their alternative, Michael? They don't have anybody that throws 96 that's going to miss bats and strike people out. That's what they're missing. And that's why Holmes is a thrill a minute, because he puts the ball in play. And whenever you do that, Michael, your heart's going to be in your throat, because there's a chance it'll find a seam. There's a chance they'll throw the ball around the infield and they'll blow the save. So I get it. He's not the perfect closer. You'd like to have somebody else. Who?
Yeah, you don't have an answer. If you don't have an answer, then Boone is going with the best guy he has available. He doesn't think the other guys can close. He doesn't think that Canely can close. He just doesn't think it. The organization probably doesn't think it.
And if he just for blanks and giggles decided to have Canely come in to close and he blows the save, what are the calls going to be the next day? Why didn't he use Holmes?
Right. Don,
nothing makes the manager worse. You've always said that than a bad bullpen.
Tell us about Mazda.
Get more to New Mazda.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of mitten buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just know it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Scheduling is easy with Square appointments. Clients can book online 24/7. Take payments at your station or the front desk. To offer seamless checkouts. Keep track of commissions and split tips with just a few clicks. Gain time and peace of mind with beauty tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today at square.com.
We have food at home. Now means something deliciously easy with Home Chef. With our quick, energizing breakfast options to enjoy on the go, tasty lunches ready in minutes to help you power through the day, and easy prep, no mess dinners for busy weeknights. Your favorite place to grab a bite is right at home. Get breakfast, lunch, and dinner delivered to your door by Home Chef. And don't forget dessert. Order now and get 18 free meals and free shipping, plus free dessert for life.
Custom shirts help people feel like they're part of a team. My name is Timothy Chi, and I'm the CEO of Wedding Art. We're very proud customers of Custom Ink. We keep coming back to Custom Ink because of the quality of the product, the customer service, and the ease of use. That moment you walk in the office and people are wearing the same gear, you feel a sense of connectedness and belonging right away. And our shirts from Custom Ink help bring us together.
We make it easy to wow all your groups with high-quality custom apparel, accessories, and promo products, all backed by our guarantee at customink.com.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by Major Food Group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites and Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites and Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites and Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
You can win big on Hard Rock Bet with a little bet.
Oh, yeah.
Or a Post Malone size bet.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need to know everything about every sport.
Good, because I don't.
Yeah, me either. All you need is a feeling and a phone.
Oh my gosh, I won.
You definitely need a phone.
We're good.
Big payouts for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
E-Y-E-C-A-R-E?
Good. Next row.
A-M America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. I Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Welcome back. 5 o'clock hour here on the K Show. Michael and Don with you. Take you right into the Labor Day weekend. I know a lot of people are in their cars right now. Be careful. Don't worry about it. We'll keep you, we'll keep you interested for the next couple of hours. Don't go crazy with traffic. Don't try to maneuver around. It is what it is, and traveling on Labor Day weekend, that's all part of the deal. Hopefully, we can get you through with a modicum of annoyance. How about that?
How about that?
Love it. You're drinking from a red Solo cup, Don. What did you just drink?
I got to tell you, I don't know if there's anything better to drink on the face of the earth.
Than what?
Than a brisk iced tea.
You know who loves that? My son.
It is so good. Now, you got to be careful. You don't want to have too many of them. But I think it's nothing better than you get a nice Solo cup full of ice, pour a nice can of brisk in there. It's fabulous. Now, I'm only allowing myself to have one. I could probably have 20. It's so good. So now that's where I'm just using my water. Nice cold water.
Love it. Brisk.
You don't like it?
I do like it, but, I don't think they make Diet Brisk, so I don't want to suck down a can of sugar. So I love the taste of it, but I don't do it. I'll go with a Diet Snapple.
Okay. But there's nothing wrong with having a couple of little vices here or there.
No. Sugar's my enemy. I can't do it.
Okay. It's like Doritos are my enemy, so I don't do it.
Right. So, as I just, inhaled about 10 Hershey's Kisses, so that's where my sugar is coming from today.
Okay. Well, we all have our little battles we're losing.
All right. So, we come back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. And the Braves took 2 out of 3, the remaining 3 from the Phillies. You're thinking that's not good?
Not good.
So they got to gain 2 games, you think? Right. So you need a sweep, and you need the Phillies to take 2 of the next 3.
Right. Now, I can't control what the Phillies and Braves do. So, listen, if the Mets sweep Chicago and the Braves win the next 2 and the Mets don't gain any ground, that's not the Mets' fault. They took care of business. Put pressure on the Braves, good on the Braves to win the rest of the games of the series against Philadelphia. They got 3 more games, a 4-game series. So you can't control that. What you can control is sweeping a series against a team that is 31-104. They have lost 104 games, and there's still 2 more games left in August. Michael, I know that they recently beat the Yankees up in a game. I know they ended Houston's winning streak. I mean, they do have 31 wins, and then they all didn't come against lousy teams. They've got 31 wins. But when you're desperate and you got 3 games to make up in 28, and you've got the worst team in baseball for 3 games, and you got a chance to gain ground, Michael, you got to do it.
They lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. You red hot?
Yeah, right. Then they're done. I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. I can't. And I know that's baseball, Susan, all that. But come on. You lose because there's a couple of reasons why you lose. I mean, maybe you got a bunch of injuries. Your starting pitcher gets hurt in the first inning. You got to have to go deep into your bullpen. But if everything's equal, Michael, how are you losing to a team that's lost 104 games? You need to win. They're already fantasizing about the offseason. I can't imagine what their clubhouse is right now. Can you imagine being around a team, calling games for a team, working for a team that has lost 104 games? I'm sure there are going to be more Met fans than White Sox fans in that building. Chicago's a great place to go visit Labor Day weekend. Mets travel very well. There's really no excuse, Michael. You got to take care of business. Now, I'm not saying you got to beat them 20-0 every night. I don't care if every game's 2-1. They got to sweep the White Sox. And if the Braves end up taking care of business in Philadelphia, well, good on them. But they've got to come back, and you'd be kicking yourself, Michael, if the Braves lose a game and the Mets lose a game and you blew an opportunity to gain ground. I would think that you should, considering Philadelphia is home for the rest of that series, that the Mets should be at least only 2 games back of the Braves come Monday.
Well, this is the one thing that I need the Mets to do. And I've said it over and over, and I could end up being wrong. I don't think the Mets are making the playoffs. But when they play the Braves, that 3-game set in September, Don, the Mets have to be a game out. Because if they're 2 games out, they're not sweeping the Braves. So if they're a game out, they take 2 out of 3, boom, you got yourself a tie. That's what you want. And you'll never hear me say, well, they have destiny in their own hands. Destiny is in no control. Nobody controls destiny. That's why it's destiny. So I won't say it. But they can control the outcome, because if you are a decent amount, if you come into that series 3 games back, you're done. You're not sweeping them. 2 back, you got to sweep them in order to make up the games. 1 back is what I need them to be when they play the Braves, because it's conceivable they could take 2 out of 3.
And if you go by the season series, they're 5-5. So there's no reason to believe that you're sweeping, especially with the games in Atlanta. So I'm with you. And then you've got only 3 games left. That's it. 3 games left after that. The 3 games in Milwaukee. So there's going to be 6 games remaining.
And Milwaukee will need those games. They're running away.
Milwaukee's going to have everything clinched. So you would say, but still, I don't know if they're going to be just completely calling off the dogs, but I think that they're going to be getting everything set and ready. They're not going to need those games at all. So maybe that's something you could take advantage of. And before the Braves series, the Mets have 4 at home against Philadelphia. And maybe Philadelphia will have things wrapped up by then, too. I don't know. Or they might be in a struggle with the Braves trying to win the division. We'll see. But right now, what is it? 6. So very good chance that Philadelphia will have things sewn up. But before that, it's a homestand. 3 against Washington, 4 against Philadelphia before they hit the road in Atlanta and Milwaukee. So I'm with you. So you can look at it and say there's 28 games left and you're 3 back. But you can look at it and say, well, all I need to do is pick up a couple of games here in the next 22 before we face them to make that series realistic to where I can be ahead of you by the time they leave Atlanta.
Now, I don't think the Mets are going to be worried about teams behind them, but right now, the Cardinals are just 3 games behind the Mets. So I don't think the Mets are eyeballing that, but the Yankees could put the Cardinals to sleep. But the Yankees end up sweeping the Cardinals this weekend, and the Mets end up sweeping the White Sox. Then all of a sudden, it's 6 games difference just from the 4th spot. Forget about the 3rd spot. So the Yankees could put the Cardinals to sleep this week. It'll be interesting. The Yankees need to win games because the Orioles are playing bad teams. They're playing the Rockies, then they're playing the White Sox. They need to win games.
And the Mets, in case you're curious, and that's what was that Sunday loss to San Diego was a killer. They are 4 back in the loss column of the Padres. So even if the Braves win against Philadelphia, Michael, maybe the Padres stumble in Tampa this weekend. And you sweep Chicago, and maybe the Padres lose 2 out of 3, and now you're only 2 back in the loss column of San Diego. So there's still plenty of baseball left to be played here. Still a couple of teams in play. Right now, you scoreboard watch because it's fun as a fan. Just take care of business, Michael. Sweep the White Sox. Do yourself a favor, because you know what? The Red Sox, that's a pretty good team coming into town on Monday, so nothing's guaranteed there. You only have so many games where you've got such a gimme. And this, come on, 131 and 104, Michael. You're going to be sick to your stomach if you don't sweep this series.
Oh, this will haunt you. This will haunt you.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe what Mendoza said when he said he doesn't scoreboard watch? Now, he's on the West Coast, so he knew the scores before they probably took the field. How could you not watch the scoreboard?
I never buy that. Now, how much does he? Because, like I just said, he knows if he wins games that he'll gain ground on somebody. But how do you not take a look? How during tonight's game? How do you not glance up and seeing what the Braves are doing? How do you not do that?
You have to.
And you see, and you go up there and you see Philadelphia's up like 6-0 in the 8th inning, and you're in a 2-2 tie tonight. I mean, come on, you're gonna guys, come on, you see, we got a chance to gain a game. Let's get to work here. Let's win this game. I'm sorry, that would actually be smart, wouldn't it? Like you always talk about, I'm only concerned about my team. Wouldn't that be smart for a manager to say, hey guys, look, Braves just lost. And we're in the 6th inning in a 2-2 tie. Let's get to work here.
I think
or vice versa. Hey, they just won 6-0. Let's get to work, guys. Wouldn't you use that as a manager?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't, because then you're putting more pressure on them. Each game is enough pressure. They know. They're looking up there, so they definitely know. If the manager has to say that, then they got more issues. Now, Jalen Brunson, one of the kings of New York right now.
Oh, sure.
And he has a great podcast he does with Josh Hart, Roommate Podcast. Jalen Brunson's departure from Dallas is confusing because Dallas is a smart organization. Well, Jalen Brunson had Mark Cuban on his podcast, and they talked about Brunson leaving the Mavericks. Let's listen.
I thought it would work out. I honestly thought it would work out. I really did. But it didn't, and that's okay. You know, all's well that ends well. I'm happy for you, the king of New York, and I'm happy for us. You know, it is what it is. That's the NBA.
The only thing that I didn't like about the whole situation was when Mark said, when the parents got involved, that's when things got messy. So that was the one thing I was like, damn, that was a little jab. But
it wasn't really. No, I didn't want to go there here. It wasn't a jab at all. There's no reason for us to talk about any of that stuff, but it wasn't just a jab, JB, for real.
I'm just saying, well, that's when I heard that, that's what maybe I felt a little a certain way, but I got over it. Obviously, that's my parents. Yeah. And so,
and I apologize. I think put you in a certain way. That wasn't the intention, but it was hard to deal with. It was unique. It was a unique negotiation in a lot of different ways.
I would say it's the same negotiation that we just went through with Isaiah. I would say it's pretty similar.
In some respects, yeah. I'm sure. Well, I mean, I don't know the details, but yeah, it may well be.
You know what I don't understand, and you know, I'm a Mark Cuban fan. Parents got involved. Isn't that a good thing? What parent wouldn't get involved? So Rick Brunson drove Jalen Brunson to the Knicks without Jalen Brunson wanting to go to the Knicks? Well, why is that even a point? That once the parents got involved, the parents should get involved. Still a young man dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars. Why wouldn't the parents get involved, Don?
Well, because I think the parents, what he's suggesting is the parents had a motivation for him not to go to Dallas, I guess.
Well, Dallas didn't offer him enough money.
Well, but I guess in Mark Cuban's mind or Dallas's mind is once the parents got involved, it seemed like he wanted to go to New York, and that was the issue. Because why would you have an issue with the parents getting involved? If you make the right offer, it shouldn't matter, right?
You would think it wouldn't,
unless you felt like no matter what I do here, he's going to want to go to the Knicks.
Yeah, but you know what? They dropped the ball. They didn't. They could have got him for half the price that the Knicks got him if they just made the offer when they were supposed to make the offer. Once it opened up the bidding and the Knicks got involved, well, I'm sorry, and that's why they had to end up making a trade for Kyrie Irving. Think about it. They wouldn't have had to sign Kyrie Irving to that big contract if they had Jalen Brunson. They probably be. I don't know if they could be a better team because Kyrie is a transcendent talent, but you know a lot of different steps had to be made to make up for Jalen Brunson. Speaking of Dallas, Dak Prescott not signed. Kind of upset, saying it shows me what the team thinks of me. Jerry Jones spoke about why Dak doesn't have a contract right now.
Dak's situation right now, for me, from my mirror, has more to do with our situation than it does with the merits of Dak Prescott being quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I've quit a long time ago getting bent out of shape about having anybody under contract or not. And there's all kinds of other things other than a contract that could change the outcome of him being under contract. The whole thing has a lot of moving parts. Now, I can live with that. Sometimes it's worked out really well. Sometimes taking those risks will bite you.
Well, so far they're getting bitten more than they're winning on these things.
Well, I mean, he waited so long for C.D. Lamb, and he gave him a truckload of money.
Right. And he ended up giving up a ton of money for Elliott, which put the situation with Dak in peril to begin with. He doesn't want Dak, I guess, because you could sign Dak and it actually be cap friendly for you. You've got to win you got a team that's very talented with a quarterback that, listen, I think he's got flaws, but he's still a very, very good quarterback. What's their alternative? I really don't know why they won't try to work something out. What are they going to do?
Well,
like,
I mean,
Dak,
there's a reason
Dak's
they
not
went on
perfect,
Trey
but
Lance, right?
But is Trey Lance the answer?
Well, maybe after another year behind Dak, he will be. I mean, Dak's the quarterback this year.
Well, all I can guess is that they believe that that's their future. And if that's the case, then we'll see. But if he's not, Michael, then they're going to wish they didn't do this and upset him. And they can get something done and keep him back and make it cap friendly and go at it and try to compete. I mean, they've got a very good team. Now, like I said, I think Dak has flaws. You look at the second half stats, and not a ton of success in the postseason, but still gives them a way better chance to win this year and beyond, I think, than Trey Lance does, unless they believe Trey Lance is something special. But why would he think that?
Well, they have Trey Lance there, so maybe they like what they see of him.
I guess, but and Dak, like I said, imperfect as he is, you know what you're getting from him. I'm not sure I'd want to pay $60 million for him, but if you can make it work for the cap and you don't have an alternative, right? At least for this year, well, they got him for this year, and maybe he's going to be motivated. And maybe that's what Jerry's thinking. I'm going to have a guy that's going to be all ticked off, bet on himself, and then maybe we're able to win a title because of that. And then he'll bolt, and I'll give it over to Trey Lance.
And one thing that Dak was smart. The last contract he signed, complete no trade clause. And he can't be offered the franchise tag.
Right.
So if he becomes a free agent, he could be gone. There's no way you can keep him. You can't slap him with a franchise tag. It's in his contract. So he knows that, and Jerry knows that too. So if he does become a free agent, he can sign wherever he wants. You can't stop him.
No. So, so he's motivated to go out there and play, and that's maybe what Jerry's banking on. A ticked-off player that's going to stick it to me, but while trying to stick it to me, I've got a great chance to win a championship. And then he's gone. And it sounds like that's what Jerry wants. But I wouldn't be in love with Trey Lance, would you? I mean, maybe he sees something, or maybe they see something we don't. But, San Francisco, who knows kind of what they're doing, thought they saw something. And then when they realized they didn't, they cut bait.
But they did see something at some point that they moved heaven and earth to get him.
Right. But that team that had him knew to move on.
Let's go to David in Hoboken. David.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up,
David?
man?
Quick question about the radio thing, and then I have a football question. Is that okay?
Of course. Sure. What do you got?
So I listen to the radio. I listen to you guys all the time. Sometimes at home, but otherwise in the car. 880 has like a muffled sound, and I just heard the news about it. How do you get the 102? I don't know that. What's up with that?
Do you have a newer car?
2 years old.
Okay, so it should have HD. So if you go to 101.1, which is, CBS FM, the oldie station, and then you go one more click to the right, then it's 101.1 HD2, and that's our station.
All right, sweet. I'll try to get it that way, because the 880, I checked that out. I hear you clear, but it's definitely like a muffled sound.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, David, but they are working on that. I mean, it's too complicated to actually get into, but the sound will be better as we move along. And in the last 3 days, it's actually gotten better.
Sweet.
So hang with that.
Yeah.
All right, I will. Thanks for the update. I know you guys aren't pros with that, and then you're pros with the sports, but thanks for the update. I'm 51, so I guess I'm getting old. At least my kids tell me I am. So yeah.
I know the feeling. What else you got?
On that. Yeah. So I'm a huge Giants fan. The same question mark, right? Daniel Jones. I mean, it's so frustrating. I like the rebuild. I get it, but I have a feeling. I hope he proves me wrong, but I think he's gonna do the same stupid crap, and then we don't have a quarterback. Like all this buildup and all this work. Like, why didn't they get some other quarterback? I mean, I wish we didn't even get rid of Tyrod, but just some quarterback,
Well, what happened, David, was that he had a pretty good season and won a playoff game when he was a free agent. So they kind of were put into a corner where he kind of fooled them maybe a little bit, and they gave him a contract, which essentially is 2 years, and it's a middle-of-the-road contract now at $40 million. a year because people are making $50-60 million a year, it's a problem. You know, if they just have a mediocre season where they're 8-9 or 7-10, they're not getting a top draft pick. We don't know who the quarterbacks are going to be coming out. Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? We're not quite sure. And, you know, I'm listening to all the experts. They say it's not a quarterback-laden draft like this last one was. So they're in a tough spot. I mean, the best way to root, I think you'd agree, Don, is that Daniel Jones balls out and they keep him and that he's the guy.
I mean, that's what I'm rooting for. I know everybody kills me for having that opinion. I just don't know if this team is good this year and he plays well. Well, then you might look at the last 2 years of the contract and say, you know, for $40 million, that's not bad. And you hope that another year under Dable with a better offensive line, and if he can stay healthy, that he might be able to give you something better than he did 2 years ago, which was good enough to win 9 games and win a playoff game. And so that's what you hope for, to kind of grow. But you go back to when they gave him the contract, Michael, what other options were there? I don't know, I'm trying to remember, was like Kirk Cousins available?
No, not that year.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd have to go back and see who was available, but was it anybody that was going to be better than what Daniel Jones was in 2022? When he had no weapons and still found a way to throw 15 touchdowns and run for another 7 and put themselves in the playoffs. And I know everybody's going to say, well, he had a healthy Saquon Barkley.
Well, they did have, I mean, that was the year that the Jets got Rodgers, so they could have gotten Carr if they wanted to. And there was one other, they could have gotten Garoppolo, and that didn't work out for the Raiders. So those are the two they could have, they were out there. And Rodgers, but you know, they weren't going to get Rodgers.
They weren't going to get Rodgers, no.
All right, Don, if he doesn't have a good year, Giant fan is going to be in pain. Then what should they do?
Well, friends, go see Dr. G.
Here comes the heat.
Say hello to the Bronx Buds. Yes' first ever animated series for the whole family.
See ya! And the crowd goes wild!
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
Hexclad presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming. Exclusively on the Yes app. Brought to you by Hexclad.
Mwah. Magnifico.
That's Aaron Judge. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
You want to win the division.
This is the battle of the American League East.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
What's your favorite part of a Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
Nope. The inside.
The wafers?
No, the stuff in between the wafers.
Oh, the in-between stuff.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. And try a bigger bite with Big Cat.
At Domino's, our stores now have quality captains.
Horrific. Thank you for the feedback. Terrible. Pathetic. It's a yes.
They're demanding perfection for your pizza.
I hate it.
Thank you.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
At First Tee, we teach kids how to play golf, but that's not our end game. Golf is simply our means to teach life lessons that build inner strength, self-confidence, and resilience.
It's more than a game. It helps them be more independent, more secure. It has given them more confidence, and I think that helps them with everything else.
Come join us at First Tee.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Amazing!
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho! Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Michael and Don. Peter's in Germany for the WWE Bacchanal, so he'll rejoin us on Tuesday. When's he flying back? Monday, Don?
The event's Saturday.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday.
So there's a good chance he'll be late on Tuesday, but you know that's the charm of Peter.
If he was on today,
there's a good chance
he didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Sad.
There's some people that are like that, but it's worked out for him.
Yeah, he's working just fine. Andrew in Medford. Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Andy. Andy Dandy. Dandy Andy.
That's probably for the best.
What happened to him, Anthony?
He said the Yankees are going to need to sign an ace. So how are they going to do that if they also sign one?
An ace?
Yep.
Who's Garrett Cole?
They need an ace, Michael.
In addition to Garrett Cole?
Need an ace.
Need an ace.
Interesting. Well, let's see who's available. Max Fried, who has not pitched well this year. Blake Snell, who turned down an offer last year. I don't think that's a priority for them. Just saying. I would have loved to have heard that because that has potential to be a great call.
How do you build a team, Michael, that is guaranteed a championship?
Well, I'm going to have to ask the 98 Yankees. That one was guaranteed.
You didn't think so when you were down to the Indians that year, but that series. But you're right.
Well, they were down 2-1, but El Duque pitched one of the great games of all time.
Right. I'm just saying, but even then, you were. It wasn't a lock at that time. You're looking back at it, 114 wins in a regular season, 125 overall, but still, you're facing elimination.
Let's go to Pop in Cairo, New York. Pop.
Hello.
Hello, Pop.
How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Older than dirt.
Oh, but at least you're here.
Yeah.
Well, the couple callers before me got into the pitching, so I'm going to ask a request to Michael. If you could talk to the Yankee Stadium accordion and ask him to play the chicken dance every time they intentionally walk Judge. Can you imagine 40,000 fans doing the chicken dance? I mean, it's not going to mean much to the other guys, but it'll get them off their butts and off their phones while they're doing it.
I will talk to the organist, but I think that's just smart. I mean, like Cece said when we had him on, he doesn't understand why they don't walk him all the time. It's not chicken, it's smart. Yeah, I guess you could say that they're afraid of him. They're afraid of him for good reason. He's great. Can't get him out. He's on base half the time.
It's not a bad idea. I like that call.
I'll talk to the people in charge. Let's go to Jordan, car phone.
Hey, Michael and Don. How are we doing?
Great, Jordan. How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. I just wanted to make two quick points. First one, last day of 98.7. Long-time listener. I've probably been listening consistently since 2017, 2018-ish.
Wow.
My family used to live in Maryland, so we used to have to buy the Yes package to get it on TV. And one of my first memories is you having to eat the Whopper for the football punishment.
How old were you then?
So I thought that was... I turned 20 next week, so...
So you were young.
How long ago was 2017? Yeah.
Yeah, that aged me a lot, Jordan. That really did.
Such a
Sorry about that. But my main point I wanted to bring up was about the Giants. I'm a realistic fan, I would like to say, so I'm not going to sit here and lie through my teeth. But I did want to bring up, however, I do think Daniel Jones, mediocre to average quarterback at best. I don't think he's as bad as Zach Wilson. I don't think he's as bad as Mac Jones. And considering that the Giants essentially replaced Saquon Barkley with Malik Neighbors, and, I mean, at this point, at least an average O-line or anything better than they used to have. And considering the pass rush and the front seven is some of the best in the league, and the defense has the chance to be top 10 in the league this year, I really don't understand the Giants' hate at all this season from a lot of professionals and analysts saying that they're only going to win 3 to 4 games. I think the floor is 6 games, and I think they have a true chance to be the second place in the division behind the Eagles.
Jordan, I think that I'll let Don speak for himself, but we do not understand the projections where, you know, people at ESPN have said, you know, they're going to be the worst team. I don't see it. I mean, they've got a lot of nice components. Are they going to be worse than the Patriots? Patriots are going to be awful. Are they going to be worse than the Cardinals? Cardinals aren't going to be good. Are they going to be worse than the Panthers? I just don't see it. So I would agree with Jordan, Don. I look at the floor maybe being 6 wins.
Well, they won 6 last year, and I think they're improved from last year. You've got a better offensive line. And listen, I know Barkley's gone, but Singletary is not awful. And with a better offensive line that they were able to get because of not re-signing Barkley, there's a chance that they could do something offensively. You've got a transcendent wide receiver. I'm not in love with their secondary, but they brought in Jackson. I think he's got a chance to maybe come back and help out there. I think they've got a good defensive line. I don't, like I said, 8-9 wins, and maybe they luck into a playoff spot, but I don't get the hate. I don't know whether it's getting clicks because the Giants have a ton of fans and get them all angry or whatever. But to say they've got the least talent, that they're going to be the worst team, you must not have any respect for Brian Dable then, because if you've got the worst team in the NFL, Michael, then you have to think that the coach is somewhat responsible for that. So how can you have any respect for the coach if you think they're going to be the worst team in football?
Let's go to Jack in Medina. Jack.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can I talk, get back to a little bit of baseball?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, Clay Holmes, you're right. He does not stink. None of these guys at this level, even single A, none of these guys stink. The players, I know a few players that have made it to double A. They tell me the biggest thing is consistency. And we've seen Clay Holmes when he's lights out. Is there any chance, and they tell me it's all about mechanics, repeating the mechanics over and over. Is there any way you guys could somehow convince the Yankees to get maybe Matt Blake or Mike Harkey on the show to pick their brain and see what they do to these guys to get them, to get them consistent?
Well, I mean, they have all these high-tech Rapsodo machines that show the exact release point. I think a lot of it with Clay has to do when he sits too long. And then, the Yankees have a rule they don't pitch anybody more than 2 days. So it's a delicate balancing act. Sometimes when he's too strong, his sinker stays up. Then he relies on the slider. So, I mean, I think they're pretty consistent, and they work on those guys to have consistency. I can't speak to what they do. I mean, I'll talk to Matt Blake about it, but I think a lot of it has to do with usage. And with a closer, you get 5 games in a row that aren't save situations, and you don't use them, and then you bring them into a game that's not a save situation because you don't want him stale, and he pitches, and then the next day's a save situation, and he does well. And then the next day's a save situation, you don't use them because you don't use them 3 days in a row. It's a tightrope walk. It really is. I don't know. I mean, you're using the word consistency because sometimes he's great and sometimes he's not. Who can explain it? He was great over the first 2.5 months of the season to make the All-Star team. He was great.
I do think you're right about the balls in play. You know how baseball is, Michael. A broken bat single, you can hit a ball as hard as you ever hit it, and it's an out. The reason you love strikeouts is it takes the element of surprise out, the good luck, bad luck. You strike them out. Done. Sit down. But once the ball's in play, a lot of things can happen. And we have seen, I'm not going to make excuses for him, Michael, but you do see sometimes at Holmes, you go, God, he blew the save, but did anybody hit the ball hard?
Right.
But the ball's in play, and there could be errors. The ball finds a hole, and sometimes it's just like one of those things. He is what he is. Sometimes he hits it hit to the shortstop. Sometimes it finds a hole. Is it just that?
I don't know. It's hard to figure out because there have been some blown saves where he's been victimized by balls finding holes, and other times he's been squared up. So I don't know. He's been inconsistent. He really has. But it's not like they're not working on his consistency. Let's go to Jimmy in Dix Hills. Jimmy.
Hey, guys. Great show as always.
Thanks.
You got me thinking when you were talking about the Mets in Chicago and how it used to be crazy years ago for the ball players. So I was a cop, almost 20 years ago. My partner and I, this was like 1998. We were sitting on the corner, and my buddy's a diehard Yankees fan, and we see this guy jet out of the hotel. And my friend says, Tim, that's El Duque. So I go, are you sure? So he sticks his head out the window, and he goes, El Duque! And El Duque smiles and waves at us as he's getting half-dressed, jumps in the cab, and that day he was pitching an hour later. So he wasn't even at the stadium.
How did he do?
And I think he won. He won both times, Michael.
Well,
but things are different. Things were different back then. Life was better, I think.
You could say that. You could call it the good. Thank you for the phone call. El Duque was a gamer, so whenever he showed up, he was bringing that gamer attitude, that's for sure. Hey, ESPN New York has a new dial position on 880 AM with all the same coverage of your favorite teams on DPH Jordan Rothenberg, Barton Hahn, and the Michael K. Show. And now ESPN New York is the radio home of your New York Mets. 880 ESPN.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Blue Chew? Yeah, you know Blue Chew? Yeah, so it's like chewable tablet things like...
Oh, girl, how do you know Blue Chew?
Oh, man.
Come on. And it made you like him more, right?
Absolutely. Or you could...
Where do I get Blue Chew? Well, you can go online and get your first month free, actually, so...
This is you, and this is your lingering hunch.
My heart says the over. My gut says ham sandwich.
The kind that just sort of hangs around.
Don't sleep on the over, Gary.
But with FanDuel, this hunch won't linger much longer, because FanDuel's profit boosts every college football game day will reward you when you're ready to act.
The over.
So you won't let any hunch go to waste, and make every moment more.
All customers get a profit boost every college football game day this weekend from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book.
You want to win the division.
This is the battle of the American League East.
You don't want to miss history on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
To back, to back.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
At Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, get Tundra with 1.99% APR for 48 months, plus $1,000 TFS subvention APR cash, or lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $499 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores. You don't want to miss history on Yes.
Amazing!
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho! Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Back here for the Michael Kay Show. The NFL kicks off in less than a week, and multiple receivers in the offseason cashed in, winning Mega Million ticket contracts. Leading the way is the Vikings' Justin Jefferson, who the Giants will have to try and shut down in their opener at the Meadowlands next Sunday at 1 o'clock. 5 of the 6 top-paid wideouts, by the way, are in the NFC, including the Niners' Brandon Ayuk. He just agreed yesterday to a 4-year extension worth $120 million with $76 million in guaranteed money. He's coming off a career-high season in yardage to go along with 75 catches and 7 touchdowns. It was his second straight 1,000-yard season. Ayuk was a training camp holdout, following in the footsteps of Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa before him. All 3 were given extensions by the 49ers. Offensive tackle Trent Williams, however, remains a holdout.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Whoa, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell. My 2 cents? My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
Here's my 2 cents on planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, now. You gonna drink that?
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Amazing!
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho! Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
EYECARE?
Good. Next row.
AM America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. I Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
You know what just happened, Don?
What happened?
I got shut out for the week.
No.
Yeah.
No. How is that possible?
Yeah, got shut out. I didn't have one good thing to say, obviously.
Well, I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah. And it's the last show ever on 98.7, and I got shut out.
Well, Anthony, what do you have to say for yourself? I mean, Michael had nothing to say. 5 days? So what was the breakdown? Oh, well, yesterday we took the knee on the Gordon Larry thing.
Right.
So,
then you took 2, and then Peter had 1. Now you have 3. Peter has 1, and Gordon and Larry have a half, and I didn't get 1. So Anthony, was I just totally insignificant all week?
Well,
no.
From what I understand, he was just on the phone with Rodney, our engineer, so he's already been punished.
Just talking to Rodney as a punishment?
I love Rodney, but I'm sure Anthony's not going to be able to.
No, I called Rodney, so it was I called.
Yeah, but I understand you had to do it, but you're not going to get that time back.
You know, Greg just brought up a good point, because Greg's always on my side.
He is.
My John Mara rant wasn't worthy?
Well,
I guess you have finally convinced them, Don, that I can't do anything for them.
No. Well, I'm glad that I did that, but no, that rant was yesterday, and the decision was made to give it to Larry and Gordon. So if they didn't give it to Larry and Gordon with it being their last day, you would have won. So I still think, so you take the win. Because what they did with Larry and Gordon was ceremonial. If not for the ceremony, you definitely would have gotten
I don't know.
You know what?
Anthony, would he have gotten point guard? Say yes.
Yes.
All right.
You know what? You're not even engaged right now, Anthony. You're not. So go.
Well, listen. Honestly, if he called Rodney, then I'm surprised we're on the air. Something happened.
Something's gone wrong.
You're not calling Rodney to ask how he's doing. You're not calling Rodney to say, how's the back of your belly?
Right, because
something's going on. No, I love Rodney.
No. I'm saying Anthony. You love.
I love Rodney.
Well, we all love Rodney, but to call him, something has to be. You're calling the engineer of a radio station when we're on the air, so something's wrong. What is it? I need to know.
Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
Well, text me.
Okay.
He likes to be in the know. Peter in New Jersey. Peter, talk to us.
Michael, Don, how you guys doing? Happy Labor Day weekend.
Same to you.
What's up, man?
Thanks. Hey, Mike, yesterday's show, I was driving, and you mentioned when Don was talking about the 30 for 30 about the Jets, and you mentioned, go put a jersey on, you can play center. That was hilarious. I don't know how you come up with those. It's amazing.
Well, thank
you. Yeah. Hey, quick question. Regarding the Yankees, they had a day off yesterday. I saw a couple of guys at tennis matches. Hopefully, maybe this day off, will bring them back some energy, get the team focused, and get on a good run for September, and see if we can bring it home in October.
You know what's interesting,
weekend,
Peter?
guys.
This
too, man.
This was really interesting. Thank you for the call. They've had a very favorable schedule, Don.
Mm-hmm.
In the month of August, they had off Monday, the 5th, Thursday, the 15th, Monday, the 19th, and Thursday, the 29th. That's a lot of days off. It was very favorable. If you even want to go back to July, they had off Monday the 1st, July 1st, Monday the 8th. Then they had the All-Star break. Then they had off Thursday the 25th. Listen, the schedule was very favorable to them, and they haven't been able to take advantage. I'm sorry, they haven't. They're in first place. They have the third best record in baseball. I get all of that, and that's the most important thing. But you do play in a world of what-ifs. If they had been able to flex and take advantage of a relatively weak schedule, they could be running away with the East.
And, if the Orioles played better, and say goodbye to Yes.
Goodbye, Yes.
On Tuesday.
Batting practice show's coming up. See you Tuesday.
That's a wrap on the show for today and this week. Coming up next, our coverage of the Yankees and Cardinals gets underway with Yankees batting practice today. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night, enjoy the game, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here.
Stay at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Emergency plumbing? Done well. So the next time you have a project, leave it to the skilled pros and join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes. Get started at Angie.com.
Orbit, good.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for memory, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good for me. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.